Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Cocainum.
Up yours. Woke moralist.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralist.
up.
Not only can you take a load, you can take the ultimate load, and even better than that you find your true calling and destiny in your willingness to take the ultimate load.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals. Up yours.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped
Woke
Ben
moralist.
Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Have it your way, buddy.
You sons of bitches.
Beta! I did everything right and they indicted me.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like?
We'll see who cancels who.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Here I am in my usual studio. As you can see, nothing has changed.
Your microphone has, though. You're connected to your laptop mic, or I think your computer.
No,
mic.
it's my headset. I don't have a microphone. It's a headset.
Oh, okay.
This is me for now. I probably can't stay the whole episode, but I am on location in Russia, finding out the deep information about the Tim Pool, Dave Rubin debacle.
Oh, cut the shit, David. You're on the run. You were named in this DOJ report, and now he's on the run, folks, okay?
He's one of the Canadian culprits.
I'm commentator number 6, actually.
Yep. So we're going to address this. You know, we're going to have to talk about David Doel's future on the Leftist Mafia, knowing what we know now about this story. But yeah, David Doel.
The only thing that's going to change
asset.
is that we're going to call it the Russian Mafia now. That's the only difference.
There we go.
Everything else will stay the same. We just got to change the name. That's it.
Yeah, this
story. I guess we'll talk about that later.
Once
Bender gets here, we'll dive deep into that since this is like his thing,
right?
So we will dive deeper because it's I don't want to talk too much about it, but it is hilarious and not surprising because these people take so much money and have so much money that obviously it comes from somewhere.
Yeah, and I don't want to start too much with this story, but I just have to say it is the most hilarious thing ever that they're all saying that they're victims when victims typically don't get $2.9 million across 3 different people. It was
I guess they thought that was the going
million.
rate. Like Benny Johnson was just like, what's my fee? $100,000 per episode. I guess that's my market rate. I guess that is normal. Not even original content, just to edit little clips of my other channel and upload it $100,000. Yeah, nothing to see here. No reason to ask where this is coming from or what this is. More money than most people see in like a year, but like sure.
Yeah. Between this and the Steven Crowder revelation that he was offered $50 million from the Daily Wire, it just makes so much sense why so many people grift, because I think we can all agree there's not that much money on this side.
All you have to do is look at their sets. Like this is what I've talked about this forever. These people pop up out of nowhere and they have like entire crews, multiple cameras, all these people working on the show. Where does all this come? How do you afford all of this? Meanwhile, I've been doing this shit for 10 years. Look at my set right now. Like this is what I got. So like it's just there's nobody here. All of us look, we do what we can. All your sets look very nice. But they're just like what you can makeshift, what you can put together through Home Depot.
My mini SNES is behind me. That's my actual mini SNES. I use
you
that.
Put your mini SNES there. Oh, I love that, Lance.
SNES right over there. Yeah.
And that is the most expensive piece of your entire set. Like
no, Miss Pac-Man is more than the SNES. I think it's Miss Pac-Man.
There we go.
Yeah. I do love the Miss Pac-Man mini arcade. That's great. Is that arcade 1UP?
I think so. Just the miniature versions. It's got like 4 versions of Pac-Man.
Cool.
Wow. My partner has high scores. She's like she dominates me in Pac-Man.
Really? Did the Chinese government pay for that, Lance, or a different government we should know about?
I'm for sale. I'll be honest. You two can be moral, but if China is listening, I am ready. I will deliver your message.
He's already been learning the language.
I've been learning Mandarin. I didn't know there was this kind of money. I had no idea.
I knew they had money, but man, $100 grand a week? Like, are you out of your goddamn mind? It's insane.
Oh my lord.
I wish, like, seeing this story, I'm like, I wish I didn't have a soul. I really wish I could just separate myself from what I do, but I can't, unfortunately.
Right. If I was able to take that kind of money and still live with myself, my life would be so different. I wouldn't have student debt. I wouldn't have any debt. It would just, my family would be taken care of. My mom would not have to worry about her mortgage. God, the things that we could do with that fucking money.
But like $10 million of seed money, I'm shocked. Like not only that no one realized something was going on, that's more like venture capital into a startup media company than like most anyone sees. Let alone like those cretins, that group of ghouls or anything like that. But like that's an obscene amount of investment cash to be thrown into a new YouTube channel that just got taken down. By the way, I just checked.
Oh, it did.
It got deleted. Yeah.
Oh, just to put this into perspective. So I looked up the viewership for the Super Bowl. It was on 123 million. They got 16 million, just to put it in perspective. The ad rate for the Super Bowl, the last one, was $7 million, give or take. $8.7 million was distributed among just 3 of them, which means 2.9 million each. They were paid more for their propaganda than a corporation has to pay for an ad during the fucking Super Bowl. Just like, let that sink in for a moment. Let that shit sink in.
Russian oligarchs have so much goddamn money. I don't think we have any idea just how much they have to throw around like that. To not even this is just content that is put on their site, but these individuals still have their own channels. Like, it's not like they're even just on their payroll. It's just one of many things they're doing. In the case of Tim Pool, he was able to still use that content on his own channel. So it's like, he wasn't really doing any extra work. It was just happened to also be there because they wanted to be able to prop up that channel. It is insane.
And you had to have been perfectly politically aligned with their goals, right? Like when you saw that list of things where it's like you have to promote like white replacement, talking about like the privilege, the people of color, perverts they mentioned, and the disabled receive, like that kind of stuff. It's stuff they don't have to change. Like that's why you couldn't have really done this with a leftist channel, right? Unless it's like the clown shoes left, like Jimmy Dore or something like that, right? I mean, stay tuned. But
the most shocking thing for me is that he wasn't on the list.
Yeah,
I thought sure he'd be there.
He's just giving it away for free.
Yeah, see, if you're gonna do that, I mean, Jimmy, collect that fucking check. He is on Rumble. I don't know if he has a deal with Rumble, but a lot of right wingers have lucrative deals with Rumble because you're not going to go to Rumble unless you're getting paid.
Oh
yeah,
of course.
No, it's Peter Thiel, right? That does Rumble, so I'm sure there's money being thrown around there.
Oh yeah. It's It's a sad state of affairs. I think that everybody should learn from this who are watching. Question everything, question people's motives. That includes us too. Question us as well. But you have to be a responsible consumer of media. And the problem is that like right-wingers, they've cultivated audiences who don't have any media literacy. They don't have even basic common sense. So they'll just believe everything. So this is not even going to hurt them. Like I would imagine most of their audience isn't going to even question them, question their motives at all. I'm sure everything will be fine in Peachy Keen. It's kind of crazy. Because if something like this happened on our side, can you imagine the audience response? I mean, if I'm like a little bit too critical of Kamala Harris or of Donald Trump, or if I'm like, if I deviate from the norm of what I say in any way, shape, or form, they rip me a new asshole. Can you imagine if it's like, oh, Mike from the Humanist Report is taking money from Venezuela or some shit? Like, they would not allow it because they have higher standards.
The funny thing is we are already criticized for or charged with taking money from various places. Like, I'll do a video where I'm like complimenting the fact that Kamala Harris is a good candidate, in her ability to, like, just politically compared to what she was in the primary. Oh, I'm taking DNC money. Like, and then it's like, but then another video, I'm too critical of her position when it comes to Gaza. Oh, you're on the RNC payroll. It's just like, there's no winning. Like, people will think what they want to think. And
Yeah.
it's just,
You know what I get in my inbox? I get Raid Shadow Legends. I get G Fuel.
Do you
I don't
really?
get like, the government of China being like, would you like to promote our ideology and things like that? Like,
I got an offer for a racing gaming chair sponsorship. Cool. And I looked at it, I'm like, this looks like ass. I'm not gonna sell this. Like, I would have anyway if I wanted to, but this looks like shit.
I just can't, like, that's funny. Yeah, even just a normal sponsorship, one that I wouldn't get called out for, I just feel weird. Like, I have no issue with people that are able to do it, but in terms of the kind of content that I put out, I don't put out like a 3-hour show where I could put ads in between. I do like a video every day, like a 10-20 minute video. It just feels weird being like, and now, before I get to more on this genocide, here's some gold you can buy. Like it just feels like a little awkward. here's was it my tushy or whatever the fuck it is. Like
prepper buckets.
Like it just feels weird to insert this stuff into these videos.
Yeah, especially with the pre-rolls too. Hey, how's it going? So, listen, everybody, we're just gonna say Matt was a little bit late because he was meeting with his attorneys. He was named in a particular indictment you might have heard about. I just did the joke for David. I'm doing it for you, Matt. I'm sorry.
He's commentator number 7.
Right. I was right. I was doing the Culture War podcast with Tim Pool. I was
lucky
there every week. Yep.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
So we saved the meat of the conversation for you, Binder. So if you want to jump off and just, I don't know where you want to start.
Oh, sure.
Maybe a basic rundown of facts for people who...
What's going on with your mic?
I'm not on my usual spot today, so this is my
yours is popping too, Binder. It's doing the robot thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It is.
Hold on. All right, let me fix it.
They're both on the run, Lance. Like, let's just face it. Like,
I'm popping.
They've got their shoddy equipment.
Is that better? Is that better?
It sounds better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm not popping anymore.
Again.
Oh,
influencer number 7. What's going on?
I don't know. All right.
It's hard to tell. I think it's fine.
All right. That's better. That's better.
It sounds okay right now.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay. I'll whisper.
So we have the exclusive investigative reporter who interviewed a senior Mr. Tim Pool's dad today. We were excited to ask you about that and the recent
developments. Oh, you did?
And, yeah.
He called to the Majority Report, and he went on about what a fair, factual person I am.
Wow.
So I'll take it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's why he said that's why he called, because he said he doesn't like, Tim Pool is still his son, of course, and he said that he doesn't like when people don't discuss the actual issues. Like, there's plenty to debunk his son on the issues. He doesn't like when people go after his son personally. Hey,
that makes sense.
This is bad. Yeah,
right.
So he said, so he said that he called it the Majority Report because sometimes we have some fun with it, sure, but he said for the most part we focus on the issues and address what he is saying, and that's what it is. We do. So did you guys not talk about this indictment yet?
Well, actually, it's all we've been talking about, but we
touched on what's around it. We didn't get to like the meat of what's actually in the indictment, and we didn't get
right. So two RT employees, Russian foreign nationals, were spending nearly $10 million on a right-wing media conglomerate. The founder of the company, Tenet Media, is one Lauren Chen, who you all might be familiar with, and her husband. She just got fired today from the Blaze because she was a contributor there. She also does work with Turning Point USA. So, you can see everyone's got some sort of degree of involvement on the right here. It does appear that she was aware, at least, that some things were going on. She wasn't completely in the dark, like the Justice Department said that people like Dave Rubin and Tim Pool were, but she was not indicted. Yet. We don't know. I guess we'll find out what happens. Just so far, those two Russian nationals. Basically, the DOJ alleges that those two foreign nationals paid the founders of Tenet Media to hire right-wing influencers in order to create this right-wing conglomerate, this right-wing media conglomerate. Basically YouTube channel, Twitter account, Instagram, TikTok, the whole thing. It was a total online media outlet. And they paid them to get those influencers in order to share and spread and produce content that they wanted them to produce in the interests of Russia. Now, it's clear that certain individuals were likely not knowledgeable of the situation, that they should have known something was weird, but they were not knowledgeable of the fact that they were being paid by Russian foreign agents. The content appears to mostly have been, at least that those individuals produced, to been their normal content. Nothing really seems like it was. It does appear that maybe some of them created content, but in terms of Rubin and Poole, it doesn't seem like they created specific content at the behest of like the foreign nationals. But it's clear that they wanted them because they naturally aligned with the message they wanted to spread. Like this, like people have to understand, like, they weren't just looking for like Russia is right in the war against Ukraine bad. While they did spread some of that, and they did urge those influencers to spread basically the Russian nationals would create their own content, and they would send them over to tenant media and ask them to post it and share it and cover it and things like that. Not all of them did that, but some of them did. But they were just looking to like just produce or spread content that just like the normal, for example, Tim Poole's whole America's in a civil war any day now. Like that's relevant to them. So Discord in the United States. Speaking of Discord, that's where Lauren Chen submitted her invoice to get paid by the Russian nationals. Very, 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 legit operation. Just drop your invoice in Discord and get paid. But the thing that I found to be the most funny was where they claimed the money was coming from. So this is where it seems like even Lauren Chen was strung along. But there was a fake individual that was created, like a fictional character that was created by the Russian nationals, named Edward Grigorian. And he was supposedly the financier behind this whole operation. He was supposed to be some like moneyed finance guy who worked in Brussels and Paris and had his hands in all sorts of different businesses, and that he wanted to create this operation. And he was the one funding it. And Dave Rubin and Tim Poole appear to have really wanted to know more about him. Like they were a bit, I don't know if skeptical is the word, but they wanted to know who they were working with. And at numerous different points, like should have became clear that something was off. But, when you're going to get paid millions of dollars a year to do basically nothing more than you already been doing, who would turn that down, right? So, for
Dave
example,
Rubin apparently got concerned about the social justice thing. That was the only red flag for him. He was like, social justice. I hate social justice. Well, that's not what I'm for.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So Edward Grigorian, for example, was going to do a Zoom meeting with Tim Poole to like discuss who he is. And they were supposed to talk, I think it was like 9 a.m. Paris time.
Yeah, your audio is really going in and out.
It just started now?
It's been off and on, but it's getting worse.
Yeah.
All right, let me restart, I guess. Let me restart my computer. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. All right, be right back, guys. Sorry. The suspense.
Check the group chat on the Twitter too.
He should have took the Russian money. This wouldn't have happened. You'd have better.
I know. Wouldn't have be able to afford a proper PC. I don't know.
If you had Russian capital.
Be right back.
So we'll just wait here quietly as he comes back.
In silence, please.
A moment of silence for all the money that Dave Rubin and Tim Pool could have made had they not been caught.
I'm a victim. A victim.
Oh my! Oh, I can't wait till we get to that part. But then all three of them, at least the three main ones, all crying victim. Oh, I'm the victim here. Yeah, the victim after you took all that fucking money, you jerk. Like, these people are so, everything they do, it's victim. Everything, they're always the victim. And even when you take millions of dollars, they're still the victim. It's just, come on. At some point.
Poor baby.
It's just insane.
Yeah. Man, if that's what being a victim is, then a lot of us want to be victims.
I would love to be a victim, personally.
This is what the impressive. This is what the.
Please victimize me.
Isn't this not like what the oppressive Olympics is now, where we want to be victims? Now we know why they say everybody wants to be a victim. Fuck me.
Because you get paid big.
Fuck.
All the victims get a payday like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'll be right back while Matt restarts.
Well, I guess. Yeah, I know. Slowly dropping out. Thanks, Shakespeare.
Oh, here's our time talking Canadian stuff. NDP ripping up the deal with Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, that was
when
was
do you
ridiculous.
think an election's going to happen?
I think an election is
next
going
year?
to be called. Yeah, I'm thinking spring. I think everyone likes a spring election. I don't think there's going to be a snap election.
I was reading it would be like a budget election. It seems to be the going idea.
I could definitely see
budget.
that. Although I don't get how you had the leverage to do this, but you do it a week after you were asked to do it by Pierre. And so out of nowhere, suddenly it's like, we can no longer continue our partnership with libs. I was like, you had so many better times to do this and make it have like resonance with people, like genocide could have been it, right? Like you'd have been like, I cannot.
They hadn't yet finished. That would have been the perfect time to do it. They hadn't yet finished their campaign video. Like the video Jagmeet Singh put out, it wasn't like, a random, like, that's it, I'm done, I got to put this video out. No, it was like they had produced that video over like several weeks. The music in the background, it was all planned. Just this could have been done so much better. I mean, I think it had to be done, but it seems a little like at this point you've lost so much support, and the conservatives gaining with this idea that they're working class, like, which is antithetical to the Conservative Party and everything Pierre Poilievre is about his entire career, working on behalf of corporations.
I have three major elections I think that are going to happen near simultaneously, which is the BC election, which is like very extreme thanks to Jordan Peterson teaming up with like the BC Conservative leader, which sucks. And they're super hardcore culture war, anti-trans, anti-climate science. Like they're 5G, the fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene tier levels. And it's a long, boring story as to how it got this bad. But that's going to happen. The Canadian election is going to happen, and the American election is going to happen. It's going to be like covering three simultaneous. Like, I'm not looking forward to it.
But is the BC election this year?
So depressing.
October 19th.
Oh wow, yeah. I hope that. Yeah, hopefully the Canadian one is until next year.
I watched both of your coverage of this, and it's very depressing. Jagmeet Singh, what the fuck are you doing? It's just really demoralizing because I was gonna flee there as a refugee one day, but now. You guys might have to come here, depending.
Yeah, I know. Depending on how radical Marxist Kamala and Walls can go.
Right.
Maybe I'll try to become an American.
Yeah. Matt, you are muted.
God. How does that sound? Is it better?
That sounds good.
Am I cutting out? Am I cutting in? Am I cutting out? Am I fluid? Is it sounding good?
So far, so good.
Okay.
Before you continue, our guest is here. We should bring him in. Okay. Our guest, James from the Internet.
Didn't know we had a guest this week. What's up?
Hey, James.
Fellow greetings.
How's it going?
How are you?
It's been a hot minute. Mr. Doel, Mr. Binder, we have not met, but mellow greetings. Mike and I have spoken a few times. Hi.
How are you?
I'm
what
well.
A pleasure.
Apparently somebody who once did a thing like 12 years ago is now in the news. So that's usually when people call me and go, hey, do you remember this thing that happened a long time ago? Cool.
What happened? I don't know what you're referring to.
Oh, so sorry. So long story short, I was, I guess for lack of a better term, a Tim Pool contemporary back in the day.
You were?
And
oh, I didn't know this.
And I had the added advantage of having worked at RT. So for the last 2 days,
really?
over in my social media, basically the running joke is that the Venn diagram of people who worked at RT and people who worked with Tim Pool is literally me. which is
Wait, you worked with Tim Pool?
it's a really small ass Venn diagram. We were all stuck in the same press pen on and off for years. Like I did. So sorry, we have met. So I way back in the day, like eternity ago, back during all the initial Occupy stuff, I was originally the live streamer at Occupy Atlanta. Then I moved way up to Charlotte. Then I moved up to New York. And then I was doing national for years. So like I worked with like, Poole and Radowski, John Farina, and like all these people like for years, like just covering the same events, getting shot at like with tear gas by the same cops, like all sorts of wild shit. Yeah, I'm just a random dude you've never heard of. Trust me, Matt. But every once in a while,
but you know where the bodies are buried, so it's good to have you on.
Yeah, no, that's kind of the thing. It was, over time, after you cover like 1,000 protests, and it's like the same 30 people that you're stuck with all the time. Like after a while, you like you do travel together and like hotels together and crap like that. So over like time, you kind of get to know people. It's just, woo! It's been a busy 2 days for James, man. Let me tell you. like people I haven't talked to. Seriously, no, people I haven't talked to in like 8 years. Yesterday, in the middle of the stream, my phone just started banging nonstop. What the hell's going on? Like nobody calls me, let alone when I'm streaming. I just text messages from like people I worked with, like on the Sanders campaign in 2016 and shit. Like people just sending me links are going, "Oh my God, did you see this?" I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" I was like covering some like lame ass Trump story, and I was like, "I'm sorry, what is this, Mr. Poole?" Like,
you worked on the Sanders campaign too. I mean, you've been around the block, James.
I'm ancient, man. It's not even that I'm like talented or good or lucky or hooked up. It's just volume. That's all. I'm like, I'm that guy who like scores 20
Quantity
points a
over
game.
quality.
Yeah. I'm the guy in the NBA who scores 20 points a game, but takes 35 field goals to do it. That's me. The bar is low.
Well, Matt was walking us through the story. Where were we at, Matt? Do you want to resume where we were?
Oh, yeah, sure. So we're at Edward Gregorian, the fictional financier.
Gregorian.
And
not suspicious at all.
Right. By the way, if you looked him up before, like obviously if you look it up now, these stories all pop up. But if you looked up that individual before, there were no hits. Like this guy did not. It was clear that either this guy was the world's most James Bond-esque multi-million-dollar financier, or something was up. Like the fact that this guy was just like disappeared off the internet, nowhere to be found, should have given some red flags. But one example of like things that should have tipped them off was like Edward Gregorian sent a Zoom meeting link to Tim Pool and I guess the other founders of Tenet Media to like have a meeting so they could convince Pool. And let's just say the time was like 9 a.m. they were supposed to meet. And he said like, "Oh, that's 5 a.m. Paris time," or something like that. And he emails them an hour before the meeting was supposed to start saying, "I'm in the room." And it turns out that it was an hour before the Paris time, but it actually was the exact time he said he wanted to meet in Moscow. So like he was still going by Russia time because that's where this individual was. And he later, whoever Edward Gregorian is, later realizes and sends a follow-up email saying like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have my calendar synced up from my travels or whatever." And then with Ruben, like Lance said, this one was really funny. So Ruben is insistent on them sending stuff about Edward Gregorian. Smart guy up to that point. And the founders of Tenet Media, Lauren Chen, are like, "You got to send him something. We need to send him something. He needs to know more about this guy." And so they put together like a fake like profile, like a glossy profile. Like I don't know if you want to pull it up on the feed. Let me drop it. It's page 13 of the indictment. I'll drop it in the private chat for someone to pull up.
If you could do it, I can with this computer.
I could do it, yeah.
And it's page 13. I'll read the so it's like his resume and stuff like that. But at the top is like what is clearly a stock photo of a guy on a private plane. And there's a little like biography, like a summarized biography. And it says Edward Gregorian. And it's the vaguest shit you'll ever hear, but here we go. Experienced finance professional and investor. Deeply engaged in business and philanthropy. Leveraging skills and resources to drive positive impact. Supporting a range of organizations worldwide with a dynamic presence, mainly in Brussels and London, engaging in personal and professional pursuits in each location with a focus on poverty alleviation, championing free speech, and advocating for social justice causes. Now, to me, this just sounded like the sort of like vague sort of like LinkedIn bullshit you see, like on like LinkedIn profiles.
Like AI wrote a resume, basically.
Like the classic like entrepreneur that's like faking it till he makes it. Like it's all bullshit. Like it's all like the range of businesses is like back when he sold Beanie Babies on eBay in 1997 or something like that. That's what they're usually talking about. But I guess in their attempts to like put buzzwords in there, like the LinkedIn buzzwords in there, they didn't realize that a conservative commentator doesn't want to work with someone who cares about social justice. So after they send this to Dave Rubin, Lauren Chen gets back to the Russian nationals and says, there's a problem with the profile we sent over with Dave Rubin, specifically the reference to social justice. And she says to them, I think it may be because that's usually a term used by liberals, but we're trying to create a conservative network. And then apparently Chen says to them that maybe Rubin and Edward could simply speak together to clarify things. I mean, it's
100% because he didn't want to fuck with the bag. He didn't want Dennis Prager to get mad at him. He was like, no, wait, I hate social justice. That's the bad thing. I don't want to do that. So I think that's the only reason he got so scared by that one.
I would vote against my own marriage tomorrow if it meant saving my career.
I mean, I think it's really funny that like you have this whole profile that's bullshit after bullshit after bullshit, red flags everywhere. And what catches him off guard is, social justice? What?
Yeah.
It's not the talking points that are explicitly pro-Russian or the white supremacist talking points.
No.
It says social justice. Oh, this is offensive to me.
I also believe that I believe that Dave Rubin is stupid enough to probably not even question like where this money was coming from. He probably just that the social justice probably was the only thing that was like, oh, what's wrong with this? Is terrible. Yeah. And then he was just completely oblivious to the fact that he's being paid by these Russians.
Yeah, his one concern is that this was maybe a liberal paying him, and that would be a bad look. Probably.
Exactly.
Well, let's see just how much they were making now. When the Russian nationals reached out to Lauren Chen to tell her what they wanted, like basically Lauren Chen's job in the beginning in like 2023 before this thing launched was they were paying her something like $8,000 a month to basically be a right-wing media scout. She had to go out and like find influencers who'll do this. And she brought back Dave Rubin and Tim Pool to them. And it appears like they were super excited about the possibility that Rubin and Pool would work for them. And she warned them, like, they're going to ask for a lot of money, like millions of dollars a year. And I don't think we'll be able to make that money, like with revenue. Like we won't be able to make enough to pay them. And they basically assure her not to worry about it, that we need to get them. And so they
and she's aware they're Russian, they're associated with RT, or they're associated with Russian state-owned media. Like
it appears she's aware of something.
There's this quote here: "Happy to work with the Russian firm. This is Founder One." That's Lauren, right?
Lauren.
That's Lauren.
Yes, that's Lauren.
Yeah. Founder One and Founder Two are Lauren and her husband.
Okay, yeah. So I mean,
like they are aware. They're getting paid via Discord. The company that's paying them is based in, I forgot where. There was like a number of different places.
That's why she's the fall girl right now. Like every right-wing commentator, I just watched Megyn Kelly's like special report on all this. She hates Lauren Chen. Like she's immediately going after her, throwing her under the bus, being like she's the one that deceived everybody. She's the one that got them associated.
She lied to them. She definitely lied to them in terms of who was behind it.
This is a petty aside, Lance. Do you remember when Lauren Chen said that you and I were unserious people?
Deeply unserious.
Deeply unserious. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Lauren. Hey, how's it going?
What was that over? Why did she say that?
I don't even remember. It was she shared or she reacted to a clip shared of me and Lance. I don't remember what we were talking about, but she said they're deeply unserious people. And now look who was caught working with the Russians, Lauren.
Hey, that's serious.
After she did her scouting job, I think they were paying her like something like $25,000 per month or something like that.
Wow.
God damn.
Yeah. And it was basically
serious money.
run the I mean,
me.
once you hear how much the commentators are making though. So Dave Rubin, who's I've it's pretty clear who each commentator is if you're aware of these individuals.
You just have to track the subscriber counts. They're roughly what they were at the time of the investigation.
Also, what they describe, like how they're described in the indictment. For example, commentator 1 is Dave Rubin. Commentator 2 is Tim Pool. Those are two you could tell by the subscriber counts and also the deal that each of them had. Commentator 3 appears to be Benny Johnson. Commentator 4 is definitely Lauren Southern because at one point Russia complains that all she does is promote her own documentary on Tenet Media and nothing else. Yeah. And
never change, I guess.
Yeah, and I gotta say though, if you look at Tenet Media's YouTube channel, the only video to break over 200,000 views, and it has like something like over a million views, is her documentary. Everything else on there is actually pretty low view count for right-wing media. So Lauren Southern might not have been promoting their shit as much as they wanted, but she brought them the hits. But Rubin's contract was basically 4 weekly videos produced specifically for Tenet Media for a fee of $400,000 a month plus a $100,000 signing bonus and additional performance bonus. So taking away that one-time signing bonus and any additional performance bonuses, because we don't know what those were and if they even paid any of those out, Rubin was making basically $25,000 per video to create 4 videos per week for Tenet Media. And those videos would be uploaded to Tenet Media's YouTube, and those would be Tenet Media's videos. Now, he definitely got paid more than the other creators, but he also appears to have done more work for Tenet Media when you compare to what Tim Pool was getting paid for. So Tim Pool was getting paid
not a good negotiator.
100,000. No, he actually was the better negotiator. People are reading this.
Oh,
wrong.
Tim beat Benny. Oh, okay.
Tim is doing better here. Well, I don't know how much was Benny Johnson making.
I thought
it
he
looked
made
like Benny was
400,000.
making more. Yeah,
Benny was making more. I don't. Hold on. Let me look.
It was
up
8.7 million among the 3 of them. I didn't figure out the distribution of them, but
it looked like Benny was making more. Also, wait, just quick point of fact here. Where previously Matt said you should just go look at the Tenet Media YouTube page and you'll see Lauren. Yeah,
it's gone.
Won't. Yeah,
it's gone.
Yeah, that page no longer exists.
Oh, really? It's gone.
Their TikTok, their Instagram, and their X account.
Like gorillas in the mist.
Still up.
Just
their YouTube is completely gone. I just checked that. Yeah.
Oh, it's too bad. I would have grabbed.
That happened at the start of my stream. Yeah.
I don't see how much they. I think the problem is people are confusing commentator 1 with Benny Johnson. Commentator 1 is not Benny Johnson. Commentator 1 is Dave Rubin. I'm pretty sure based on the subscriber count
yet.
Yeah.
2 is Tim Pool for sure.
So Tim Pool's making more. Good for Tim.
No, but commentator 1 is the only one who has over 2 million subscribers. And Benny Johnson doesn't have 2.4 million subscribers. So commentator 1, I'm pretty sure, is Dave Rubin. Commentator 2 is Tim Pool. So it's Dave Rubin who is making $400,000 a month. But Tim Pool got the better deal. People are misunderstanding here that Tim Pool got the better deal. So as a quick reminder, Dave Rubin's doing 4 videos a week for them, specifically for them at $400,000 a month.
That's so
Commentator
insane.
2
Yeah,
was getting paid
it's TV money.
$100,000 per video for a non-exclusive, non-transferable license.
Oh, that's way better. Yeah, so that's just uploading your other
non-exclusive.
content.
So
Yeah.
this is what Tim Pool was doing.
Yeah.
He was getting paid $100,000 for live streaming a single episode of his Culture War podcast on Tenet Media.
Oh.
And then he would have the full rights to the podcast afterwards to do it was his property. So he was getting $100,000 for doing the exact
really good
same
deal.
work, but just connecting the live stream program to a different YouTube channel when it goes live. So again, Rubin had to do 4 videos per week just for Tenet Media to get $400,000 per month. Pool just had to live stream his own Culture War podcast once a week that he was already doing, but live stream it on Tenet Media's YouTube channel, and he would make the same amount as Rubin. Tim Pool had the better deal.
Get over that. Yeah, that is a better deal. I checked Lauren Chen's Twitter page. She has not responded as of yet. She does have a post.
Same with Southern.
Yeah. Okay, I haven't checked her. I keep mixing up the two Laurens. It's confusing. But like the Lauren Chen, she does have a post up about the trans lobby. So she's more focused on the serious issues rather than the indictments. So
yeah, but as usual, Tim Pool, the only one who's stupid enough to keep running his mouth. Everybody else, like the lawyers,
I know.
Right. Shut up now. And they're like, cool, I'm just not going to tweet. Tim drops like 4 videos in 15 hours. He's just like, fuck it. Just like, we're there already. I'm just digging, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
and now he reached out.
He's doing an FBI investigation.
Like you saw the FBI.
Yeah. He's cooperating as a victim who was paid very handsomely. Yeah, I feel so bad for him, man. If that happened to me, I would commit seppuku. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I was victimized like that. It'd be so hard to get over the trauma he must feel from being victimized.
Their YouTube is the only channel that's down. The others are still all up.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, and it appears that it was removed because YouTube removed it.
Yeah, I figured that's probably what happened.
Yeah,
right.
YouTube is the only one that removed it. Everyone else is like, why the fuck are we gonna break our policy? Who gives a shit?
Right.
I mean, I think it should stay up. Honestly, people should be able to pour through that shit. There's definitely information there. I think in those videos.
Yeah. All the old RT content's been gone for years. Like even long after like the push of the really good content creators at RT. RT, like as a, especially with their YouTube pages, because they had like RT International, like they had like 4 pages. And they were still up until I want to say about like 2020, 2021 or so. And then like when Russia got officially labeled as like a state media sponsor or some shit like that, they vaporized it. Like everything popped off of YouTube. And they had like a solid 15 years of content on there. And they had like exclusives from like Abby Martin and Ben Norton and like
Tom Hartman was on there too.
Ed Schultz.
Yeah.
Like so many people work there, and they like the second they got labeled as Russian state media, every single piece of RT content across YouTube, across every channel, got nixed in like 3 seconds flat. Like nobody had time to pull shit off of it or anything. Just gone. So just all this content is just people are just like, it's on the internet, it's there forever. And I'm like, well, if somebody else records it, because at this point, like people are just pulling like they were talking, there were like 30 some odd websites that they pulled down, like in addition to this whole investigation.
Right.
So like content's just going to keep like vanishing off the internet, like
Right.
that. And then it's just all
people are
digital
wrong when
file
they
stuff.
say people are wrong when they say if it's on the internet, it's forever. It's not true, actually.
No, if it's on
Yeah.
somebody's computer, it's forever. If it's on
Even
the
then,
internet,
even then, it's got to be backed up in multiple places. All it takes is for a hard drive to die, and that's it. It's got.
Yeah. So look, my heart goes out to Tim Pool and Dave Rubin. Any victims, I always stand with them. I'm praying for them. I don't know how they're going to recover from this. being victims. But I'm sorry if you're watching Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin has me blocked. But listen, I'm willing to make up. I feel bad for you for being a victim.
Who hasn't he blocked? He's blocked like everybody.
We're all probably
He was my
blocked,
first
right?
celebrity block.
I blocked my.
Yeah.
I was blocked a long time ago by Dave Rubin. I forget when that happened. Like
Yeah.
my first block probably was from Dave Rubin.
Yeah, that was my first
one.
celebrity block where I was like, oh wow, he's famous and he blocked me.
Yeah, Matt and James, are you guys blocked by Rubin?
Yes, I am.
I am not blocked by Rubin. I am, however, still blocked by Alex Jones.
Really?
That's hilarious.
Alex Free Speech Jones. Wow.
Alex
I didn't know he was a
Free
block
Speech
guy.
Yeah.
Neither did I.
Wow.
Like, my account was banned for like 4 years, and when I got it back, I was like, "Oh wow, I totally forgot what Twitter was like." And then I started looking around. And I was like, "Shit, all these people still have me banned." It was like I've been anywhere in like a decade. I'm like, seriously?
Why did
That's
block
like,
you?
At the 2016 RNC in Cleveland, I don't know if you remember, he got into a fight. Like he went and basically picked a fight with a bunch of leftists outside the hotel because he'd been doing like a satellite broadcast for 3 days.
TYT, right? Was it TYT?
Is that TYT or is that?
That was when
a different
Jimmy
fight?
spit in his face, right?
No.
that
That
the
was
spit one?
No, that was
the
an outside.
DNC.
That was inside.
That was inside. That was the DNC.
Yeah,
in
there was.
Philly.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the RNC Alex Jones had a posting stand and he was up for like 3 days doing live shows and there were like 40, 50 people hanging out there. So he had to like rustle up some trouble and he basically went to where all the leftists were protesting and just marched into like a wall of them and he had like Joey Biggs and like a whole bunch of like the knucklehead patrol. And he just basically got into an argument, like started like a huge fight. And I was just, again, it's just like if you're there with the camera. And man, I have never seen a fat man sprint so fast in my whole life because all the anarchists just like 100 dudes in black blocs stood up and the cops literally took him and threw him and they're sprinting down the street like him, Joey Biggs, the whole security. And I'm sitting there with a fucking camera just running, go, where you going, Alex? Alex, do you have any comments? Are you there, Alex? And he got really pissed and like went viral on Twitter and he blocked me.
Oh wow.
And I think he's had me blocked ever since then.
Huh.
That's a
I
good
thought
reason
he
to
didn't
get
block
blocked.
anybody.
You earned it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There you go. I'm working it. Oh, good Lord. Yo, seriously, the last 2 days has been the wildest walk down memory lane because just literally everybody's crawling out of the woodwork going, I knew it. Look, Tim's finally caught. And I'm like, well, to be fair, technically.
All of them are going to get out of this except for Lauren Chin. I now seen that she got fired instantly from the Blaze. And see, I watch all these like right-wing commentators. They're all going after her. She's the target. She's the fall girl for everything. This might actually roast your career because like if you're persona non grata, if you're like the Milo, like you want to go down that road where every right-winger just cuts you astray and you're the bad one all of a sudden, right?
When in doubt, blame Canada. That's what they're doing. They're just blaming Canada. It's
blame Canada.
It's all the Canadians.
That's
I
why.
discovered something really funny that I don't know if anyone. This is like just like a funny thing, but Mike, do me a favor.
Breaking.
Go to Tenet Media's website and pull it up on the stream. This is actually pretty funny. I don't think anyone.
Oh, the intro video. I watched it before.
No,
the stream.
no,
it's
not
fucking
the
hilarious.
intro video. No, not the intro video.
Am I gonna get a Russian Trojan, Matt?
No, but this is very funny. It just shows how careless they were. Because this is really funny. Pull the Tenet Media Tenet Media website up.
It's up.
All right, there you go.
That's
Tenet Media, tenetmedia.com. Now scroll down to where they show the profiles for the guys. Now stop on Pool right there. Go up, go to Tim Pool. Go up. All right. They have the social media links. You see the little icons: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, X. Do me a favor. Click the X account they link to. You can click it.
Yeah, are you able to see it? Oh, no, I have to reshare. Okay, give me 1 second.
Oh, because it's a new window.
Yeah.
That's not Tim Pool's account.
There went the Tim Pool clips. No way.
Oh my god.
That's
the site I source all the embarrassing Tim Pool clips from.
Oh my god.
That's a critic of Tim Pool. That's not Tim Pool's account.
Tim Pool clips is not pro Tim
I
Pool.
wonder
That's
if
a
Tim
funny
Pool
mistake.
Clips knows about this. I don't think he does.
God.
No, but Tim Pool clips is gonna love this.
Who checks those links? No one checks those links.
Wow.
I checked those links.
Well,
I checked those links. There's your answer. It turns out it's Matt. That's who checks the links.
That's hilarious. hilarious.
That's really funny. That's
Someone
a
should
funny
tell
fuck up.
Google Clips that they're linked from that account.
Yeah.
dude,
Is this video on the website any good? Should we watch it?
It's funny,
Looks
yeah.
really
It's just funny
embarrassing
because
already.
it's so serious. Like they all made kind of like
It looks very
retrowave, like
melodramatic.
we're being silenced. This is about truth. This is
Oh
about
my
getting the message
God.
out. Yeah,
Please
yeah,
play
the
it.
whole
I want to see
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it's funny.
Let's
It's
see
funny
this.
in hindsight. Extra
Cringe
funny.
me harder. Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've pissed off basically every.
Very
That's what
soft.
happens when you're a free thinker.
Free speech is under attack.
Look at this dramatic shit.
Maybe they take it
Yeah.
individually. It's a lot harder to
I
do
pissed off basically
when we're
everyone.
together in this way.
When the media says dissident or anti-establishment, I mean, when I hear it, I think based, very cool.
Independent media.
Their poses are so weird.
I know.
Challenge for all.
Also,
of us
how old is Lauren Southern and she's saying based? I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
you
know.
can't
Well,
say that.
it's a nod. It's a nod to Gripers, essentially.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. You just listen. If you're over the age of 30, you shouldn't be saying the word based. I'm sorry. Come on.
Okay, I feel personally attacked.
You shouldn't be saying it unironically.
That is
Okay,
an embarrassing
I want to
video.
see your
So
poses.
overdramatic.
Okay, if you were paid by the Russian government, what would your pose be? This would be mine. Okay. Oh, David, that's a good one. Fuck, this would be mine.
Oh, you do the look up. Yeah, that one's good too.
Mm-hmm.
No, you gotta look.
That's good, Lance. or
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, or
That's good. Oh shit! You got the full 360.
Hey,
The full
Russia,
360
China,
zoom in,
you like
that's
what
what
you
you gotta
see? Venezuela?
Yeah.
Huh?
I am for sale. I am for sale.
Wow.
I actually like Venezuela.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute.
I'm a fan of most countries. I
I'm
just
a
don't like the
chavista.
government. To be
I'm a
honest with you.
chavista.
Shavisa, I gotta try this. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Is this the move? Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, it's the
They
pan
said you
in.
couldn't tell.
Oh.
How did I do? Did I do this right?
Oh, that's good.
It's my first time. Did I get that right?
That was beautiful, James.
Okay, thank you.
I love it.
Jailed for heterodoxical thought.
Yeah.
Heterodoxical thought.
Right to jail.
Thought.
By the way, I do have actually some stories prepped because David, I thought wasn't going to come, so I felt like pressured to play host. Usually I'm lazy and I just sit here and react, but I do have stories. And on the
When
subject,
I'm host, I still don't prep. But anyways, go on.
Okay. So I want to talk about another foreign country, specifically a gang that has taken over portions of the United States of America.
Venezuelan gangs!
Yeah, you know what it is. Okay.
I learned about this from Jank. He said that apparently they're swarming and they're violent and they're attacking whites or something like that. And it's scary.
Yeah. I think that he said local news in Colorado has absolutely confirmed Venezuelan gangs took over apartment buildings in Aurora, including a report by legal team hired by the property owners. So why are the local authorities ceding U.S. territory to foreign gangs? Why haven't the cops gone in already? Now, as you can see, Jeff Waldorf, friend of the show, great person, is like, hey, man, this isn't true. And then he's like, no, you watch this fucking show. You watch it. So
it's clickbait. It's clickbait. I'm doing propaganda for clickbait. Xenophobic, fucking racist propaganda for clickbait.
I am rooting for the Venezuelan gangs.
Me too.
I am totally in support of the Venezuelan gangs.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they continue to spread. They further outside of Aurora, take over Colorado, followed by New Mexico. If New Mexico's not already gone, Arizona, and just continue to spread out. And then we could just be Venezuela Part 2.
Yeah, if they offer us free healthcare, I pledge fealty. I have no choice.
And some of that sweet cheap gas, I'll take that. I know, for the record, the Jank tweet you just showed, Anna Kasparian put up a very similar tweet today, and the reason I know about it is because Tim Pool retweeted it. There you go, cycle of life. I got the whole circle. There you go.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Wow. So I just want to, so if I could do like a trailer for Fox News, from the people who brought you Muslim no-go zones, brings you a new terror threat. So real quick, this was shared, by the way.
Venezuelan gang.
Venezuelan. I don't have a good movie voice because my voice is too gay, but you know what I'm going for. But anyways, this was shared by Decoding Fox News, so I just want to give them credit for putting together the compilation. So they're going to play what Fox News is saying and what Cenk Uygur is saying, and then they're going to juxtapose it with a local news report where they shatter this dumbass hoax. And I feel like this didn't really need to be debunked because it's one of those things that's really stupid and obviously hysterical, but nonetheless, let's watch.
Kamala's open borders insanity is wreaking more havoc. Officials in Aurora, Colorado are setting up a task force after terrifying video emerged of a vicious apartment invasion, allegedly by a dangerous migrant gang.
Developing this morning, we're hearing...
Okay, so that's the story. Fox News has been fear-mongering about that for days now. This is the actual story where they talk to the people that live at the apartment complex, and what they say is genuinely amazing.
The people living inside of one of those chaotic apartments in Aurora where the alleged gang activity is taking place. Neighbors telling us gangs are not the problem. They say poor management is the problem.
Yeah, so this all comes after we've showed you this concerning video, that video that you just saw of what allegedly could be gangs going door to door there. Fox 31's Courtney Fromm, she's on it live in Aurora this morning. Now we're even hearing from the mayor who, is saying this is because of slumlords, not the gang. So we're kind of hearing both sides of this.
Yeah, good morning to you both. And the neighbors who actually live in the Edge at Lowry Apartments, they actually had a rally yesterday to talk about all of this and say, hey, this is not what's going on. It's actually this building is kind of a mess and the management company is not taking care of it. And they're asking specifically to talk to the mayor, Mayor Mike Kaufman, I should say, here in Aurora. And it sounds like the mayor is on board to chit chat about what's going on. Now, Mayor Mike Kaufman says there have been conversations of an emergency order to take over the complex, but he says that's a last resort. Now, those who live there, they tell us they have had no issues with gang activity, but say the real crime is the horrible living conditions they've been dealing with, like the mountains of trash, bed bugs, and even mice. And they say all of this happening without any help from the property management company. Now, the management company, CB's management, also oversaw the Nome Street complex that was shut down last month. Now, the city shut down Nome Street because of code violations, but the management company says that they couldn't go in there and actually deal with the code violations because it was overrun by a Venezuelan gang. So that's all, everybody kind of pointing the finger at each other. But that location, like I said, allegedly also had gang activity. Now, the mayor, though, he says all of these allegations are a potential crutch for the company to be using.
What? So, wait, hang on a second. This is crazy. The property management company, the landlords are lying?
What? No, landlords provide housing. They're amazing people.
What? But I thought that this was confirmed by reporting because Cenk said that the property management company had the smoking gun evidence.
Even
so racist. And
let's say the PR company, the landlords, the property managers hired, by the way, is like a conservative PR firm out of Florida. Like they're a right wing, like this was set up. This was purposely put together as like a perfect, like kill two birds with one stone type deal. Help our client spread right wing conspiracies. Boom, bada bing, knock it out of the park.
Even if let's say it was true for a second. Like let's just they're taking over. This is not a national story. Like why would any national news coverage take this on unless the whole point is to fearmonger about crime? Like this is not a national issue at all.
And a specific kind of crime, immigrant crime, the scariest of crimes, the Venezuelan crime. They're coming.
They may not even speak English while they're doing crime. And
right?
We can't have
they
that.
might be speaking all those different dialects, weird olays and sounds. Fucking hell, like goddamn.
Scary.
They got weird smells. There's spices involved. Yeah, I know. It's all
some I assume are good people, but
So Trump actually, speaking of why is it a national story? Trump did that live speech today at the whatever it is, like the Economist Club in New York City. He spent 10 minutes on it.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
He didn't just see the apartment. He was like, did you hear about this? Aurora, Colorado. It's a town in Colorado, which is a state. And he's like, that's right. The gangs, they've taken over whole sections of the town, entire areas, completely controlled by Venezuela. And there's like 12 people in an apartment building going, there's like 2 guys up here in their dicks.
And like they got a fucking shadow government, and they've taken over. They have power. They formed a government all based on this video. Like, holy shit!
They hoisted up the fucking the sickle and the hammer on the town flag. Like,
this is Chaz 2.0. Chaz 2.0, but scarier.
Oh my god!
Yes, with free healthcare. So
yeah,
infinitely worse. Yeah, but apparently, like Donald Trump literally in National Cabinet was like, they took over whole sections of the town. Like what? Like there was one story about one apartment building, and he literally has people thinking there's an entire gang of Venezuelans who've taken over like the 97th largest city in America. Just just chilling. Just no biggity. Like this happened. Dude, this is gonna be the longest 2 months.
Do we have the TYT video out of curiosity? I'm just curious, like why
his response. Yeah, I would be curious to see that.
I can check. I don't know if Jenks said that it was going to be on their evening program. I'm not sure if they cut the clip for it, but I'll check real quick.
It just seems like a weird story to cover. Like, why even decide to cover this?
Well, we know why.
You know why.
Because Jenks' number one concern is property values. If not his, everybody else's. It's his number one priority. Ever since Anna moved to the cul-de-sac, they've just been all about property values. Like,
okay. You know what? They have the video clip. The title is actually a little bit different. It says, let me just show you. Okay. The title is Venezuelan Gangs Take Over an Apartment Complex. Or did they? So maybe it's not as bad. Do we want to watch some of this
or did they?
Wait, did they the original title though?
I'm not sure. It was uploaded 19 minutes ago. So I can't say. Yeah, I can't say for sure. Let's see. We'll get past the video. We can
normally that means they didn't. If you're gonna put that in the title, but
right.
This particular apartment complex, according to some of the residents and former residents, has been riddled with all sorts of gang violence over the last year. But this incident has sparked a big debate and I believe some gaslighting about whether or not there is a problem with Venezuelan migrant gangs basically taking over apartment buildings or causing violent crimes at these apartment buildings. And the local government can't seem to keep its facts straight or its story straight. So look, at first, the mayor of Aurora, Colorado admitted that there actually is a problem with Venezuelan gangs. Let's watch.
These gangs apparently are attracted to where there's a concentration of Venezuelan migrants. And so they've in fact have kind of pushed out the property management through intimidation and then collected the rents. Arrests have been made, but these operations are still ongoing.
After that, it appeared that the state and local leaders kind of went into panic mode because they started to claim that there's no problem at all. What do you mean? This is a figment of your imagination. In fact, the governor, Jared Polis, claims that the allegations are a figment of your imagination. And Aurora's interim police chief said that the gangs had not taken over one of the complexes. Now, depending on what you're hearing different things. And whether or not this is a widespread problem in Aurora, Colorado remains to be seen. Let's be clear about that. But the issue of this Venezuelan gang carrying out violent acts and crimes in the area, there seems to be a lot of evidence of that, while the Democratic lawmakers and leaders in the state and local level want to pretend like it's not happening at all.
Okay, so this is moving the goalpost because the claim was that they took over this apartment complex. They're establishing basically a fucking center of power. They have hegemony over this area. And now it's like, well, now there's gang activity. Yeah, there's gang activity in every fucking city. Is this really a story?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's the story, is that there's gang activity and violence.
This was parasitic slumlords. Like the people who live there, they've interviewed them. They've talked to them.
They did change the title of this video, by the way, in the 20 minutes since it's been up.
Did they?
If you go to Google and you just Google TYT Venezuelan, the first link that comes up is a YouTube video posted 20 minutes ago. And the title is "What is Going On with Venezuelan Gangs in Aurora?"
Oh,
but is that the same? Is that the same video or is it a different video for different?
No, it's the same video. If you click it, it goes to the same link, the one we were just watching.
Okay.
who was the politician who backed up her claim that she wanted that it was the mayor of Aurora, right?
Yeah, I think so.
In that video,
the one on Fox News that said that
Yeah,
did he
there
say
were
that
gangs?
they took over the apartment?
No, but
I don't think he was saying that. He was just saying that there's gang activity, right?
Can you just rewind to that part so I could see who the guy is, just so I can make sure it's the same guy that I'm looking up here?
It was under the graphic. I think it was the mayor.
Okay, yeah, that's the mayor, Mike Kaufman, who's a Republican who was formerly in the U.S. House of Representatives, who was around during the Obama years, who was a birther. This guy's not exactly.
So he's somebody we should trust, is what you're saying,
right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is shocking. I'm shocked.
I just don't get why these are even like national stories. Like, I guess it's interesting to people. Like, I guess it's not to me, but some people find this interesting.
Yeah. Can you imagine if like The Wire was real life and it's like, oh, child drug dealers take over entire block, declaring independence? Something like it just. I mean, yeah, there's crime that gonna happen. Shit happens.
He visited.
Like, I don't know what to say about it.
He visited a detention center in 2018 when Trump was splitting up families, and he visited the detention center for the children, and he said that he found the conditions there to be pretty good.
Oh, okay.
This is yeah.
And they're not so bad.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? Agree to disagree with TYT here.
So what's next on your list?
And by the way, this went viral This went viral online over the weekend. You might have seen Hell's Angels trending online, and that was because conservatives were falling for a disinformation campaign built on this disinformation campaign. So the Venezuelan gangs taking over Aurora was a thing that we just discussed, that we know is over embellished, to say the least. And there was an additional fake news story on top of it that the Hells Angels were getting together to go down to Aurora and free the city to free the town of the Venezuelan gangs. And the right was creating TikTok videos. They were putting up clips out. They were like, oh, you should have seen some of these. It was like, breaking news. The Hells Angels are going down. Oh, you don't want to mess with these guys. Venezuelan gangs, you better watch out.
This is like, so boomer coded. I can't help it.
Yeah.
This is so close.
White biker gangs are on their way.
Yeah, this reminds me so much. I already mentioned it, but this reminds me so much of like the circa 2011-ish story. I think where Fox News was talking about Muslim no-go zones in the UK, where they declared like Sharia law and they were semi-autonomous and whatnot. And I remember even David Cameron, the conservative prime minister at the time, was like, hearing that made me spit out my porridge. Like it's just like he was like, he thought it was fucking stupid. Like what? It's so hyperbolic that you have to question it just like on its face because it sounds so ridiculous.
You do, but the reason they do it, and what I really hate about this, is that like it always has to set you up in this dynamic. What, are you on the other side of this? Are you for the gangs? Are you for this violent criminal? Are you for this violent thing? And like no one's on the other side of that. It's like, okay, but can we look at the actual statistics? Is crime down overall? Is violent crime down overall? Is there an actual surge? Or are you always choosing specific stories? Like the guy who like randomly shit on the street, and like you want that in your city? Or like the wave of crime that's coming, the gangs, the violent gangs. No one's saying there isn't. No one's saying that there isn't gang violence, or there is people who defecate on the street, or all that kind of shit. But is this like a problem society-wide, like across America? There's roving gangs and all that kind of stuff.
But they won't tell you.
And for the record,
they won't tell you that immigrants do less crime, both documented and undocumented, do less crime than citizens and permanent residents, or just citizens, excuse me. But they'll take one example.
They got a lot more to lose.
Right. They'll take one example, as Lance was saying, and they'll blow it up and make it seem as if that's representative of all of them. It's demonization. It's the oldest propaganda trick in the book.
And for the record, you mentioned, Lance, who supports these gangs, these roving. I will just say I support the Venezuelan gang. You name
me
it,
too.
everything you mentioned. You want to throw MS-13 in there. The random guy shitting on the street you mentioned. Support that too. I
team Mad
support
Pooper. You're for the Mad Pooper.
public
All right.
I support it all. I support it all. Anything that
Except gamers, right?
conservatives-
Everyone but gamers.
everything that conservatives think is detrimental to society, I fully support it.
David, did you want to jump in, or did you want me to move on to the next story? I wasn't sure if you. Okay, I wasn't sure if you. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were trying to jump in. I'm sorry. Okay, so does anyone
Wait,
know?
You don't have any experience with the Venezuelan gangs up there in Canada?
I'm not sure if you met anyone who's from Venezuela, let alone a whole gang of them. So-
Are they trying to encroach on the maple syrup mafia's turf?
No one does. No one fucks with the
I
Maple
know.
Syrup Mafia.
I've seen the
Don't do that.
documentaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Don't fuck with them.
they've taken over Quebec City. Oh no.
Yeah, I can't make these jokes. I'm worried they'll come from me. I'm too close.
No, Maple Syrup Mafia is legit.
I don't fuck with you, Maple Syrup Mafia. Yeah.
The milk mafia also legit.
Yep. A lot of mafias. A lot of
And the raw
food-based
milk
mafias up in
mafia.
Canada.
The raw milk
Yes, a lot
mafia
of
is someone
food-based
you don't want to
mafia.
fuck with. Matt Walsh found out the hard way. Don't fuck with the raw milk mafia.
That was a really funny video, Mike. The whole raw milk shit. That was like, I was like, wait, this is the one time you decide to believe in science, the first time ever. You know, he's like, no. After the backlash, he's like, you guys know what like simple bathing has done for society and stuff like that. I was like, oh my god.
This is really
Your own
random.
audience.
You have to.
Oh wait, hold on.
like,
Someone in
you
the
have to
chat
bring up.
someone in the chat
What?
just completely blew your shit, David. Did you know that Pierre Polivier? How do you say that guy's name? Pierre
Polyev.
Poliev.
Polyev.
His
Polyev.
wife is Venezuelan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Really?
I forgot.
See,
He
there
is.
it is. That's
That
the
is true.
source. It only takes
That's
one.
gonna be-
That's gonna be the. She's
There we-
gonna become like the first lady of Canada.
That's like patient zero. Once you get one, next thing you know,
Yeah.
they're taking over
So they-
whole parts of the town.
There you go. If you don't want
Canada's done.
Venezuelan gangs to take over Canada, do not vote Pierre Poliev. There you go.
I also have Venezuelan family, you know, so there's that. We're already here.
Oh my goodness. Holy
Yeah.
crap. I was gonna say, Mike. Before we, I guess we're off the topic now, but I found it hilarious that the Guardian did a video, an article
Oh my God,
on
yes.
this whole thing. Can you bring my tweet up? I think it's like the last tweet I have, and they
Yeah.
they replaced Tim Pool with somebody who's not Tim Pool.
Oh yeah.
in the header image. I cannot believe that it's perfect because it's exactly like
So fucking funny.
I can imagine it bothering Tim Pool too because he's like, hey, you guys don't know who I am? He's getting some random guy in a beanie.
Who is that?
That's
He worked with
somebody
Tim
that
Pool
Tim Pool
during the
used to
Vice
work.
days.
Yeah, that's a guy who worked at Vice with Tim.
Oh, so
Also, I
I was
thought
like
Tim
random
was
guy
really-
in a beanie.
He shows up in a Google image search when you search up Tim Pool. That's how they did that.
That's
I thought
hilarious.
I thought Tim was into homogeny, so he should be fine with this. It's no big deal.
The funny thing is, he does look like Bizarro World Tim Pool a little bit. Like
Right.
It's
A little, yeah,
not
a little bit in the
quite-
eyes,
it's not
maybe.
quite
Like,
Tim Pool,
Wish.com
yeah, it's-
Tim Pool.
We got it on Temu.
I was gonna say he's not fully Timu Tim Pool, but I could go for Wish.com Tim Pool. Only
Yeah.
because this guy can grow an actual mustache.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You got you
He does
you
have
really
actual
do have to
facial hair.
love how like the guy who was set out to find who they tasked with finding a image of Tim Pool. He was just like, I got who's Tim Pool? And he's like, just type in his name and grab the guy with the beanie. And the guy's like, okay.
credit here to Freedom 90 Remix, Jim Pool. That's how he looks, Jim Pool right there.
Oh, I love that.
Is that Tim Pool emo rock you're listening to? Well, turn it up. Yeah. This is amazing stuff.
Okay, I have the next topic for you all. This one is a treat. I was really excited to react to this. So, how many of you remember Janet Porter? Nobody.
I don't think so.
Nobody? Okay, great.
That
good.
name sounds crazy familiar.
Janet Porter is a very, very prominent anti-abortion activist. She actually catalyzed the adoption of heartbeat bills in a lot of states. And 4 years ago, she launched the pilot for the world's first conservative sitcom. So I don't know if you saw that pilot, but if you did, well, watch that if you haven't seen it. Seems like a lot of people haven't. But there's an update 4 years later. We've got a clip from it, and it's so good. It's peak conservative comedy. So let me bring in the clip really fast so you can see the pilot.
This is 90 seconds of joy. That clip that popped on YouTube.
You saw it? Okay.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. So this is the pilot, okay, from Janet Porter, anti-abortion extremist.
I know it's only been a few weeks since Jack broke up with you, but tell me you're not eating another pan of brownies.
I've got something that's going to cheer you up. I've got the title for your next book. Brace yourself. Your next book is called What's a Girl to Do While Waiting for Mr. Right?
You want me to write a book on dating?
I couldn't even write a pamphlet on dating.
That's hilarious. You can advise women all across America what to do with their ex-boyfriend's shirts. Dwayne's in. You're going on a date tomorrow night. This is the tallest man I've ever seen. Would you mind changing seats with me?
No.
Excuse me?
Well, then I won't be able to see.
I got everyone's expense checks, except for Janet, who did not submit the proper paperwork. Surprise.
Janet's having a party on Friday. Would you like to come?
A party? What time is this party? Yeah, what time is this party, Lori?
Here is Janet's address for Friday.
Speak only in cliches. Well, if at first you don't succeed.
Oh, no you don't. You have to stay with what you pick. That's the game.
Hey, boo-boo.
Hey.
Dance with me?
Sure.
So, Janet, how's Jack?
Well, Liz, let's put it this way. There's plenty more fish in the sea.
Oh, should we get that?
No time like the present. Oh, hi, Jack.
Speak of the devil.
I won't keep you. I just came to pick up my striped shirt that I left over here.
Okay, so there's a second part to it.
What?
What is this again?
What did I just watch?
That's a
What the
pilot
hell
for
was
a
that?
sitcom. Okay.
For what? For where?
For her show.
Is it produced by high school students?
It is, and I love.
I've
how
seen better production value out of children.
the writing is
Yeah,
amazing, and I love how literally everyone in it looks like a pedophile, including Janet.
I was waiting for her to tell me what lunch was going to be at the cafeteria today.
Who's behind that? I don't understand. Why is
I
this a
still
thing?
don't understand what I just saw.
I don't know who's funding it.
I think they need some
funding it.
Russian money to help them out because
Yeah.
they need a bigger budget.
Comrade Sitcom is killing it over here.
Connect them with Tenet. Connect them with Tenet. They need some cash.
Yeah, so okay, we've got to get through an additional 1 minute 34 seconds. You have to see the whole pilot, and then you see the clip. The clip is the real gold here, I think.
It's money.
It is. Okay.
I think I need a down-to-earth kind of girl. You know, one who's happy with the simple things in life, like applesauce and brownies.
Hilarious.
Hey, Julie Jules. I was just thinking about you. It's about a job.
It is so good to see you here, though. In the same restaurant, in addition to you living right next door to Jeff.
Hey, green
And
screen
now you're
this?
working with him in the same office.
Yeah.
She seems.
By the way, this sounds like the intro music to Amy and Sonic Adventure. Does it not?
The music isn't
Yeah,
helping.
it does.
Well, why do they have this music in the background? It's so terrible.
Nothing is helping.
Yeah.
It's
just
don't know
random.
why anyone even knows what this is.
It's just random out of context clips from their show, and this is supposed to be the highlights because it's a pilot, but none of it is like this is the best what they got basically, and none
Where
of
did
it is
you
popping
find
up.
this?
This
Does this sound like
so random?
This is Right Wing Watch.
Internet
They shared
Archive or
this.
something? Like
Right Wing
What-
Watch, they're
who?
the ones who shared this.
Jared put up that 90-second clip yesterday.
Yeah, it's very, very good. So this is like from 4 years ago, what we're seeing. And then after it bombed, I'm assuming, and nobody wanted it, they decided to push ahead anyway with the new clip that we got, which is about her dating life. So that's like the crux of the story is she is having a hard time dating. I don't know if she's gonna loop in her anti-abortion activism, and maybe that's why she can't get laid. I'm not really sure, but I'll play the rest of this. It's not too much more.
Really, really nice. Tell you what, give me one chapter by next week and I'll leave you alone.
How about one sentence by next month?
All right, you've got 2
I know
weeks
that
to
actor.
do
He's
one
like the only
chapter.
person I recognize.
Danny DeVito?
No, he's like
Robert Davi.
You know, mafiosa in movies and stuff. Usually like a tough guy. Robert Davi. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a hog.
Oh, he's a hog. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, Fetterman has this hoodie.
That's true.
He also has that T-shirt.
Does he?
What is happening? This is such a fever dream.
Why do even the non-green screen scenes look like they're green screened? Like
everything is.
It
wild.
doesn't. It looks so bizarre.
Not today, Satan.
At least they found the Friends fountain for the end shot. So, you know, good points for scouting.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm gonna switch over to the update. All right. So this is the official, like, this is a real scene. It's not like out of context. You just get a whole bunch of what's a girl to do. So I'm gonna press play and let you all enjoy.
I'm what you call apolitical. That's like being neutered, right? Well, don't tell me you're a Trump fan. I like the guy. Well, I don't like what he said about... Watch what he's done. Actions are what matter. He's pro-life. Well, that's great, but that's just a single issue. A single issue? Yes. Right, the right to life is a priority issue. It's a prerequisite issue. It's what makes every other right possible.
Okay, she's laying on her anti-abortion extremism a little bit.
Pretty
thick.
thick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
So
subtle.
it seems like she's maybe gotten a little bit more editorial control, where it's less about like what the audience wants and just her kind of freestyling about abortion.
Keep politics out of sitcoms. No more politics in sitcoms. Like I want to laugh. You know what the fuck?
Right. You've got to strike a good balance, and I think that the new norm did that perfectly. I'm a huge fan of the new norm, and I'm sad that they haven't released anything since their pilot. If you can pull off a new norm, which is difficult, then you've got some gold here. But this one it's so overly contrived, and I feel like this is proof that she's never had a real relationship, or not a real, well, that too, but a real conversation with another human being for more than like 2 minutes based on this.
Okay.
In what good is the best education or free healthcare if you're dead? She has a point. Well, don't you think he brags a bit too much? I never noticed. He's got a lot to brag about. Look, I stay out of politics, all right? I don't even think I'm registered to vote. To stay out of politics is to let the Marxists control your life, your health, our country. How can you date a guy that doesn't even vote?
And I don't know. I think this is her dad in the show.
Okay.
Like, I don't know for sure.
I thought that was her husband.
Well, she's dating him, unless there's a menage a trois going.
Oh, that wasn't clear.
Hold on. Maybe they're Mormon conservatives and not regular conservatives.
Maybe, but the man would have to be.
I get it. Yeah, okay. Sister wives. Kind
It's
of
a reverse Mormon relationship.
Right. So sister husbands.
Reverse Mormon, everyone's favorite. Yeah.
So I'm assuming this
it.
character is canonically 85 based on the T-shirt he's wearing. Nobody under the age of 76 wears something like this. Also spot the Israel flag right there, which will come up in this clip, by the way.
Subtle.
Also, he's wearing Converse.
Hey, where is that? I see it there. Oh, wow.
Look at the bottom of those sneakers. Those are Converse. He's wearing Chucks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, an old man would not wear that. So, but the character,
no ankle support.
Marxists certainly wouldn't.
Yeah. Also the cross. Lots of symbolism in here.
Look. Trump is for liberty. He's for Israel. He's for the Second Amendment. They want to take your guns.
Okay, I need to go back so you all can hear that again. After she says he's for the Second
They want to
Amendment.
take your guns. Man, he likes to
I don't
watch.
have any guns.
Does Trump print those pamphlets?
I don't have any guns.
She just has a pamphlet casually on her coffee
It's like
table,
a
just in
Chinese
case.
food menu. It looks like a takeout
Yeah,
menu.
just in case one of her dates happens to be apolitical. And then she's like, on the he's for liberty.
And Israel, apparently. Liberty and Israel.
So good.
I don't have any guns.
How can you date a guy who doesn't even own a gun?
Well, as much as I'm enjoying this lovely little conversation, I'm gonna go.
How can you date a guy that doesn't even want to make America great? I don't know.
Yeah. What a girl
Oh my-
wants. There you have it.
Oh my god.
Fucking hilarious.
That was one of the worst
Wow.
productions of anything I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's not even so bad it's good. It's not like Birdemic, or Troll 2,
No.
like the movies that you can watch 1,000 times because they're funny. Like it gives you psychic damage to sit through that shit.
Yeah, at least like the audio is produced well on those terrible films. Like this is just like the audio, like the
No, it's
mics,
not- it's not on Birdemic.
between the couch cushions. Like it's just everything is just so poorly done.
Show of hands. For how many people here was it the first time you've ever heard the word Marxism in a sitcom before? Go ahead, first timers.
It's first for me, I think,
timers.
yeah.
It's okay. Don't be shy.
I don't think it's ever
I-
happened for me before.
I think I have, but it wasn't a conservative one.
Also, Lance says Canadian sitcoms. Never mind. They're weird.
That's
You-
true.
You
That's
really
true.
you did? What's the deal?
Yeah,
What's
I'm-
Marxism? Is
What
that
are
what
you-
There is a Seinfeld episode where Elaine dates a communist. I
Yeah,
do remember
that's what I
that.
was thinking of in my head. I was trying to remember if they say the word
Oh.
Marxist in it, though. Yeah,
There's no
that's
way
what I
they
was-
do. There's no
Okay,
way.
is that a
she's like
Canadian
she's
show?
like really into it because it's like kind of edgy. It's like he's a communist.
Seinfeld,
We don't-
yeah. Drake was in it. Yeah.
Okay, because we don't have Seinfeld in America. It must be a Canadian thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like how the pilot gave us spoilers because, in that last clip we saw, she's like, I don't know if I could date somebody who doesn't want to make America great. And then at the end of the pilot, before it cuts to the title, she's in front of him with the fountain and they're just chumming it up. It looks like they're going to fuck later. So it turns out
God.
she went for the woke libtard. Spoiler alert.
Wow.
I would be interested in seeing the full season. I would pay for a subscription to whatever
Really?
platform. Yeah, I would. I think I like it. It's not amazing. I would give it probably an 8 out of 10, just personally.
An 8
I
out
was
of 10,
impressed.
wow.
Wait till they start releasing new episodes on Rumble.
Or
There you
maybe it'll
go.
be on Daily Wire Plus. Then I'll have to finally subscribe.
Oh, I hear Brett Cooper
You
will
didn't
definitely
join for
get
Matt
it.
Walsh's new movie?
No.
You're not going to watch Am I Racist by Matt Walsh? You're not excited?
The Wish.com Borat.
yeah. No, yeah, that is Wish.com. That's not Temu. That's DiGiorno. It's not delivery.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Watch like a minute long Seinfeld clip or no? Is that bad?
we probably
I
cannot
think
watch
you
that.
can get away with 20 seconds anymore than that. You're really rolling the dice on
Okay,
the
'cause-
auto detect for.
Yeah.
I have a
but
link
you
to
can find
the
20 seconds.
communist clip. I was just curious, but it's okay. We don't have to. read our
Okay, I
channels
would
over.
like to see it because I never saw Seinfeld. I didn't grow up in Canada.
Oh
but,
my god!
Yeah, I've not
I
seen
grew
it.
up watching Seinfeld. So Seinfeld and The Simpsons. That's like the basis of my life. Just like those two comedies.
See, I grew up watching Family Matters, Home Improvement, Step by
Whatever
Step.
happened to predictability? The milkman,
Oh, my
and the
goodness.
boy, the evening TV. Yeah,
That's all I know.
You watched TGIF, right?
I absolutely
Thank God it's
did.
Fridays on ABC, baby. Yep, I watched that too. But also, you had to watch Snick Saturday night on Nickelodeon.
See,
where
I
you
didn't
got
have
Are You
that. My
Afraid of
family
the
didn't pay for
Dark?
cable.
Ah.
Yeah, my sister's boyfriend offered to get us a black box so they can get free cable, but my parents were too pure for that, so they said no, and I never got my Nickelodeon.
That's Marxism.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
free TV. You can't have that.
right. But they were fine with me putting pirated movies on thumb drive to watch, allegedly, hypothetically. Okay, so I do have some more clips if you all want to see them. I have clips of Republicans trying to talk about policy, namely Donald Trump and JD Vance. Let me pull it in real quick.
You wouldn't steal a car, Mike. Would you steal an MP3? You think that's cool?
I would steal both.
Huh?
I would steal a car. And I would, if I
like the
could.
Venezuelan gangs. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So we keep hearing about how the Republicans, Donald Trump in particular, they're a bunch of policy wonks, and Kamala has no policy. So listen to what he says. Charlie Kirk is going to ask him about daycare. Listen to what JD Vance says.
What can we do about lowering the cost of daycare? Hayden, obviously a working family, and it's very hard for working families to get by. How will we lower the cost of daycare?
Yes, such an important question, Charlie. And I think one of the things that we can do is make it easier.
Well, I do want to pause it really quick and just point out that the Republicans are still associating with this open racist who said he doesn't want to fly on black pilots' planes. So that can't be overlooked. But without further ado, I'll let him continue.
For family models to choose, or for families to choose whatever model they want, right? So one of the ways that you might be able to relieve a little bit of pressure on people who are paying so much for daycare is make it so that maybe like grandma or grandpa wants to help out a little bit more, or maybe there's an aunt or uncle that wants to help out a little bit more. If that happens, you relieve some of the pressure on all the resources that we're spending in daycare. Now, you talk about just daycare. Let's say you don't have somebody who can provide that extra set of hands. What we've got to do is actually empower people to get trained in the skills that they need for the 21st century. We've got a lot of people who love kids, who would love to take care of kids, but they can't, either because they don't have access to the education that they need, or maybe more importantly, because the state government says you're not allowed to take care of children unless you have some ridiculous certification that has nothing to do with taking care of kids. So empower.
I'm sorry, I'm not a parent, but I want them to be qualified and certified to take care of my children if I'm going to send them to daycare. So this is
what is he even talking about? Like what certification that has nothing to do with taking care of kids are you required to take? I don't know of one.
Yeah,
like what is he talking about?
Like, is there a lot of red tape when it comes to becoming a daycare provider or preschool teacher? Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I would assume that there's got to be something that you have to do, but I don't know.
I'm looking at it right now. It differs from state to state. Anywhere from needing a child development association credential to having an associate's degree to just a generic thing that says you need to complete initial training. That's all it takes to get a job at a daycare center.
Background check, I'm sure.
Yeah, employees have to be 18. They also have volunteer. Oh, it's cool. Everybody can volunteer at a daycare center. So there you go. Problem solved. We got it. We just need 8 or 9 million meemaws with some spare time on their hands to just go volunteer at a daycare. That way they don't need to be licensed or insured or educated because they're volunteers. It's like being an intern at CNN.
Interesting. And anyone who can do this, that's horrifying. That absolutely scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I would ask him, what the hell is he talking about? Give me an example of one requirement or certification or course you need that has nothing to do with taking care of a kid that is required to take care of kids. There is none. There is what you got to take probably a CPR, like basic CPR, I bet. Like shit like that. You have to prove that you're not a sex offender, I'm sure. I hope so. That's all I can think of.
That's regulation.
Yeah, right, that's Marxism.
Yeah, it's red tape.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's how the Marxist gets you.
Oof.
Yeah. First they say that you can't be a daycare provider if you're a sex offender. Then if you're a conservative, you can't be one. It's a slippery slope. Okay, so there's a little bit left to this. Trump is asked a similar question as well. So we have that after
people
this.
To get the skills they need. Don't force every early child care specialist to go and get a 6-year college degree where they've
That's not fucking happening, I can assure you. That's not required.
Got a whole lot of debt, and Americans are much poorer because they're paying out the wazoo for daycare. Empower working families, empower people who want to do these things for a living, and that's what we got to do. All right,
I love how he just leads with have me ma.
What is he thinking of that requires graduate continuing education? Being a special education teacher, which makes sense. Things like that. Obviously being a an actual teacher requires a teaching degree. Yes, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think they should know how to teach children when they are at their sort of most amendable. Like, you know, we want teachers to know how to teach and how to deal with children in a way that you know, best procures a positive educational environment. Like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. I don't think he's actually had to think about this because he's extremely wealthy, so daycare is not a problem. I'm sure they just hire a nanny. But Trump has asked what they would do policy-wise to lower the cost of daycare. I have not pre-watched this, so maybe he says something extremely brilliant, but let's see.
If you win in November, we're gonna enslave childless women.
This is at the economic.
Well, now whatever he says is going to sound better than that.
Yeah, that's true. You really lowered the bar, poisoned the well, if you will.
You commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable, and if so, what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down. You know, I was somebody, we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that, because look, childcare is childcare. Couldn't, you know, there's something, you have to have it. In this country, you have to have it. But when you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a...
So just to reiterate.
What is he talking about now?
He's talking about putting tariffs on foreign countries to pay for childcare?
What does that have to do with the childcare?
This is a much worse answer than JD Vance. JD Vance sounds like Einstein compared to this.
Very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers that we're talking about, including childcare, that it's going to take care. We're going to have, I look forward to having no deficits within a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in our country, because I have to stay with childcare. I want to stay with childcare, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth, but growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just told you about. We're going to be taking in trillions of dollars, and as much as childcare is talked about as being expensive, it's relatively speaking not very expensive compared to the kind of numbers we'll be taking in. We're going to make this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Let's help other people. But we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first. It's about make America great again. We have to do it because right now we're a failing nation. So we'll take care of it. Thank you.
Oh, he said the line, making America great again. Yeah, clap, clap, clap. It's just complete word salad nonsense.
Yeah, it's like when your essay has like a 10,000 word requirement and you're only at 5,000, but you need to find some way to get that word count up.
I was thinking it sounds exactly like a bad essay answer. Like that's...
Yeah, it's terrible. On the or at the same forum, he was asked a different question. I have not seen this video either. We'll just play it.
Mr. President.
Hi, John.
First, let me thank you for your presentation today. President Trump, in the last fiscal year, the fiscal deficit under the Biden administration was approximately $2 trillion. Under the policies you've announced, the deficit would come down from items such as increased revenues from tariffs, as well as eliminating the tax incentives for the Green New Deal. These gains would be mitigated by decreases in revenues from policies such as no tax on tips. Overall, what do you estimate will be the impact of the fiscal deficit from your policies?
Well, we just hit record highs at numbers that nobody ever thought possible. You're right, it's over $2 trillion. Nobody thought that was a number that was I mean, you can go back 4 years. Nobody thought a number like that would be possible. It's crazy. It's like, it's just horrible, actually. But yeah, we're 2 trillion, and I view it as profit and loss to a certain extent. A lot of people say, oh, it's trade. You know, you have many people say trade deficits don't matter. I think they matter a lot. I think they matter a lot. We're going to have tremendous growth. What I'm talking about is all about growth. The tax is relatively minor compared to the growth we're going to make.
I'm sorry, but like he asked this long-winded ass question that's very specific. Did he expect a cogent answer from Donald Trump? What was he expecting? Like, I'm sorry, that's
also, those people are economists, and Donald Trump is a moron. Why are they asking him a question about economic policy? It's ridiculous. Like, these are all economists that belong to like the New York Economist Association. And this guy's an unemployed game show host. Why?
They should ask like just like basic like questions that don't have to do with any politics at all. Just like basic economic.
What's a
questions
deficit?
to see what he,
Can
yeah,
you define what deficit is?
Yes. Just
well,
ask
it's
for
very
definitions
bad.
of words.
It's a very bad thing. You know, it's terrible for this country.
That's what he would do. He would just word salad that too.
Our money back on growth. We're going to also, I mean, we're going to grow like nobody's ever grown before. I think if this all works out,
that's a great
you're going to have
promise.
the auto industry come back to
We're
America.
gonna grow like
right
no
now,
one's ever
China
grown before.
is building 2 auto factories in Mexico, massive auto factories, and they think they're going to make their cars in Mexico and send them back into the United States with no tax. It's not going to happen. Under this administration, it's going to happen. And they wanted to do that during my administration. I said, if you do it, we're going to put a 200% tariff on every car, and you'll never be able to see it. There will never be one car coming across our border. And if I would have let them do it, we would have had these 2 factories. Well, now they're building massive factories, more than 2, and they're going to kill Detroit. And the head of the union, the United Auto Workers in Detroit, has done a terrible, terrible job, just a terrible job. But we're going to bring tremendous growth back. And remember, we're also taking in a certain percentage. I won't name the percentage today, but it'll be a certain tariff percentage, which will be higher than people had heard in the past. And we will be bringing in billions and billions of dollars, which will directly reduce our deficits. Okay, thank you very much. Good job you've done, by the way. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Someone should like AI Kamala Harris's voice over his script and just showcase how fucking low the bar is for that man. Like, imagine Kamala Harris said like 3 words of that entire rambling bullshit. Like it would be so obvious that she's insane. Yet he does it. We're just all used to it. It's like, oh yeah, it's Donald Trump. He's a fucking lunatic. He's such a fraudster, and it's so obvious. It's amazing he's been able to amass a following being that fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Did you
Well,
not
it's
met
not- it's actually not
Americans?
too. Yeah, it's not too. Too shocking.
Yeah,
We've all just become so accustomed to it that it's normalized now.
Yes, we are used to it. I sent a link to you, Mike, by the way, in the private chat. It's a Matt Gaetz answering question, or not a question, but giving a speech and talking about the shooting in Georgia. And I haven't watched it, but the caption it's going around. It sounds like it's not a good response.
Oh boy, let's take a look.
Now look, the Kamala Harris answer to this is to take law-abiding American citizens' guns away from them. That is what Kamala Harris wants to do. She says, look,
That's actually
I don't
not.
like this. I don't like to admit this. I don't like that this is a fact of life. But if you are a psycho and you want to make headlines, you realize that our schools are soft targets. And we have got to bolster security at our schools so that a person who walks through the front door we've got to bolster security so that if a psycho wants to walk through the front door and kill a bunch of children, they're not able to. And again, as a parent, do I want my kids' school to have additional security? No, of course I don't. I don't want my kids to go to school in a place where they feel like you've got to have additional security, but that is increasingly the reality that we live in. Now look,
it's the reality you live in because you do nothing to combat that reality.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to eliminate every instance of something happening, of course, obviously. But the point is to try and reduce how often it happens. That in itself saves lives. This idea that you're going to turn every school into a prison, I don't think that's the right solution here.
I also like how he's like, can you believe how lackadaisical the security is at our schools? Buddy, someone just shot your running mate a couple weeks ago. Like,
Yeah,
this
what
is
about
going
the
to happen
campaigns?
no matter what. No
Yeah.
matter what, because of
Yeah.
you could put all the security, you had the Secret
You had
Service
Secret
and
Service.
the local police
Secret
completely canvassing the entire area, and someone still found a way to shoot at Donald Trump. I mean, you could fill
And it was some
a
dumbass
building.
too. It wasn't like it was some
Yeah.
like, some James Bond 007. Like it was some 20-year-old dumbass that made his way through.
Like, you can fill a place with security, but someone will find that one loophole, that one weak spot, that one weak point. The issue is not we need to fill everything up with everywhere up with security guards. The issue is we need to fundamentally address the actual thing that's going on here, and that is that unlike any other nation in this world, we got gun violence just part of our everyday lives. Something is wrong here.
It always goes back to the Onion article for me that said something to the effect of like, only country in the world where gun violence like this happens says they wish there was something that could be done. Like I'm butchering the headline, but it's a pretty it's a famous Onion headline. But yeah, it's frustrating to see them say the same shit every single time. Democrats want to take your guns. We need more security. I feel like by now people should know that like NPCs, they're going to have the same response. There's no point in even trying to ask them because we know exactly what they're going to say. It's the same shit. And also the congressman who represents the district where this last shooting took place, like there was a bunch of ads that went viral of him where he's talking about, oh, Joe Biden tried to steal this next election. He has a gun and he like shoots. Yeah, it's fucking so unhinged. And Marjorie Greene, same thing, talking about thoughts and prayers in Georgia. If you saw her ad, what was she doing? She was threatening Antifa with a gun in her ad.
The 50 cal giveaway, the one from a couple of years ago.
Right. That's yeah. It's these people are stochastic terrorists, so they don't give a shit. They don't care if your children get killed in schools. It's all about fucking rhetoric. It's all about taking money from the NRA. They're corrupt.
Hey, let me ask you about Marjorie Taylor Greene real quick, because I noticed this today. She put out or yesterday she put out a generic thoughts and prayers tweet.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts and prayers with the family, blah blah, because it was in Georgia. Sans that tweet, and especially Mike, because I know you're like white on rice with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the A tier hogs.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard shit from Marjorie Taylor Greene in like a month and a half? Because I feel like somebody from the RNC went to her house, showed her the JFK tape, and said, listen, can you keep it down for the next 2 months? Because every time you say something stupid, Donald Trump's just going to repeat that shit and then say something worse. So could you just be because she vanished overnight. She was like literally overnight, like she was like abducted by aliens or something. And when she put that tweet out, I was like, where the fuck's Marjorie Taylor Greene been?
I noticed
and I
that,
started
yeah.
looking back. There's a bit she hasn't made some inflammatory, shitty comment in front of a news camera in like a solid month. I feel like they just have her locked in a cabin somewhere.
She's never struck me as someone who listens to the House Whip or anything like that, though. Not someone who gets in line to be separated from the chaff or anything.
That's why I think someone showed her the JFK tape.
I mean, maybe from the viewpoint of the shooter from the grassy knoll.
I gotta say, I miss her. I miss Marjorie.
Yeah, I saw your Boebert video. I saw your Boebert video, and then again, I was like, but nothing Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah,
there's the tweet. I'm like, oh, that's right. Yeah, they totally had her in hiding.
Right,
amazing.
Right.
Maybe she's dating Zangief. Maybe they're in love. You never know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we're super close to the super chat portion.
David did the dropout.
How dare you, David? Irish exit.
I After James does his promo, do you mind if I just read a couple of fast ones quick? Because I do have to take off this time.
Yeah, of
And I
course,
can't
of
do
course.
David's runaway.
Yeah,
James.
James.
Do you wanna promo yourself? Tell everyone where to find you, and you're welcome to stay for any or all of the super chats as we read out super chats and answer questions from the audience.
Groovy. Okay, yeah. Hi, I'm James from the internet, and you can find me on Twitch at James from the internet. Other than that, you'll have to dig through historical documents to find work I used to do that used to be of value before I went to Twitch at James from the internet. How's that? Was that a viable
That was
promo?
beautiful.
Thank you. That degree in broadcast journalism really paying dividends right now. Yeah, killing
can I read them quick while you pull yours up, Mike? Is that all right?
Yeah, feel free.
Rosina, ooh, killer with the $4.99. Thank you so much. This is the same Tim Pool that decided to represent himself in court that was fooled into being a mouthpiece for RT. Yes, and yes. Tokyo Hans with the 200 yen. That means Tim Pool in Spanish, aka Timoteo Piscina. So that is good to know. Meow Nyan with the 279. What kind of jail time are we looking at here? Unfortunately, I think for Tim Pool and all the rest of them, not a lot. I think they all have plausible deniability. And for Lauren Chen, I looked it up. There's two kinds of treason in Canada. There's regular treason, then there's high treason. And high treason usually only applies to MPs or politicians. Regular treason she could fall under, but there's not a lot of history of people actually going to jail or stuff for the length of what she did, because it's essentially they didn't declare in the US that they were a foreign entity. That's really that's where the crime is. Everyone else is just kind of useful idiots, I think, for Russia. Yeah, no one's correcting me, so I'm okay. Greg,
No, I think you're. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Yes.
Okay. I was just waiting for someone to be like Lance. No, so no one talking.
No, you were.
Okay. Nice. Greg Wright with the $2, guys. That's a lot of fucking beanie money. I agree. Daniel R with the $1.99. Candace Owens voice. Where are my stable lefties at? Alexander R with L with the $4.99. If we weren't living in the upside down, Pool and Ruman would be permanently disgraced. I would agree. Do you guys think that they're going to face right-wing backlash? It seems like everyone's going up for Lauren Chen. I think it's Lauren Chen who's done.
She's the scapegoat. Everybody else will be fine.
Yeah. Alexander L with a very generous $10. Even if it wasn't for the Russians, would it still be bad for them to take money to produce videos for rich benefactors? That's the point that's being lost. Jason with the $5. It's crazy that Tim probably hasn't gotten a lawyer yet and hasn't shut up. Know your rights. Jar with the $2. Lance, where'd you get that shirt? I got it at a ferry terminal. There's a lot of ferries in the island of Vancouver to get from island to island, and ferry terminals sell very cheap Hawaiian shirts that I sometimes buy. And finally, Greg Wright with the $2. The long-haired guy is Timu Chris Delia.
Okay, wait. Yo, that guy's extra creepy, so I'm going to assume that's somebody else and not me.
Oh, that's probably from the sitcom. Yeah, no, it's from when we were watching the sitcom. That's when it came in. Yeah.
I was like, I get the silent Bob thing a lot, of the fact that I never shut the fuck up, and I was like, Chris Delia, the Vito guy. Ah, cool.
No,
yeah, that's great. When did he look like he was 60 imploded? I missed that.
And thank you, Mike Boy from Air, and Shakespeare for the raid. I appreciate that. Take it away.
Alrighty, so Matt, I don't know which one is going to be David's or yours, but
hold on, let me pull my
go ahead and pull up yours. How about this? I'll go through mine, Matt, and then everyone that's not mine, I'll assume is yours after that, and we could just read them, or you could read David's too. Is that
sounds good? Yeah.
Okay, that way there's less confusion. Okay, so Bay Photo with $4.99. Thank you, Bay Photo. David Doel, aka commentator number 6, can stay if he shares his rubles. Is that how it said? Rubles.
Rubles.
The next one is from Anupam, $4.99. Thank you so much. Please check out Texas Senate. All Red is blowing a winnable race, and we need to beat Cruz to win Senate. Google Cruz curse ad. Okay, I'll check that out. I haven't heard much from him, so it is concerning. Aaron, thank you for becoming a member. The next one is from Bay Photo. $4.99. Thank you so much, Bay Photo. Kid you not, my friend's former property manager blamed the broken HVAC on MS-13. Are you serious? Slumlords will do anything to not fix their properties. That's so stupid. It's actually hilarious. Wow. Okay. Next, we have 5 gifted subs from Alderman Gomez. That is very kind. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, Alderman. And then we have $5 from Omega Shenron Dragon. Remember, Anna's dad was a landlord. Oh, I had no idea about that. Just saying. And it's why she gets super panicky about squatters. She's been trying to shit on leftists since 2022. I had no idea about the context.
My grandma, I say this all the time on the show, though. I was like, my grandma's a landlord, and I've always been like, she's one of the ones who rents out a little place in her house to pay for like her expenses and stuff like that. But I was like, that doesn't mean that you can't recognize that people who are predatory and fucking other people over through rent aren't bad people. Like, it's not as if I was like, I can't talk shit about landlords because of my grandmother, so I got to remain silent on this while you guys get into the landlord stuff. Like, what the fuck?
Right. And I think there's a real meaningful difference between like an old lady who's renting out a house and like a property management company that's preying on people. Very, very different. Like,
I'm not trying to absolve her, by the way. I'm just saying, like, be a class trader. Learn. You can still speak out against like shit that just because you came from
bring out your grandmother's head on a platter now, Lance.
I love you so much, Grandma. If you're watching.
No, like my last landlady was the sweetest person ever. Rented to us way under like value, just the sweetest person ever. So even though generally speaking, like, I think that decommodification of housing is absolutely essential. There's an old lady who owns a home is not going to be my number one priority, right? So also another one
it's like that Thought Slime video where he's talking about ACAB, where he's like, the example I give is that he's like, my landlords are the 2 nicest people I've ever met in my life. They never like raise more rent. They fixed every problem I've ever had. They're literally, in terms of landlords, like the ideal, perfect humans. And there's nothing bad I can say about them, but they're still part of a system that in its very nature just exploits people by people having the ownership and the property and the capital. And that's why they're part of it. In the same way that ACAB, you might have a really nice cop who joins the force, not because he wants to oppress people or be part of state violence or any of that. He wants to help the world and stop rapists and violent criminals, and that's why they join, right? But they're still in part of a system. He's like, you have to realize that's why people say things like ACAB, or that's why people use those kind of terms, right? Even if you are the benevolent one or the nice one or the good one within it.
Yeah, well said. That's perfectly put. Another one from Omega, $2. Thank you so much, Omega. Also, did you reach Zoo on One Piece yet? Zoo on One Piece. It's not ringing a bell, although I will say After Dressrosa, the little mini arc, has been boring me, so I've been sleeping through it. So maybe I'm waiting for Luffy to catch up with Sanji and Chopper and Nami and Brook. Until then, my interest is kind of minimal because I'm a Chopper stan, and the fact that there hasn't been much Chopper in the show is killing my soul. Because we love Chopper. Okay, next one here. David McClellan, $10. Wow, very generous. Thank you so much. Maybe it's just the weed talking here, but don't y'all think JD is the Starscream to Trump's Megatron? Yeah, I can see that. I like that. The Lumpen Lodge with $5. Thank you so much. Shama Sawant hosts her podcast on Russell Brand's network. He has a network. Mad Sus, probably connected to Tenant. Also, Tulsi was human trafficked and is under mind control. There's a lot of claims there. I just want to say there's no evidence for legal purposes of any of this. I can't endorse these claims.
Wow, you really can fit a lot into 2 sentences.
I was gonna say there's a lot to respond to.
Goddamn, Lumpen, blowing my fucking mind here.
As in,
Tulsi was human trafficked and is under mind control.
It's amazing.
That's a lot. Well, thank you, Lumpen.
I see that's $5 well spent.
Yeah.
Got the truth out there.
Amazing shit. Prisoner of Gravity with $4.99. I can't believe they tried to make car sickness a scandal. Yeah, thank you so much for that. For those who don't know what he's talking about, or what they're talking about, I should say, the right hyped up this story with Tim Wall's brother, who wrote on Facebook, the stories I could tell. And then they find, like, this was a huge fucking thing. Like, the New York Post had it as the front page news with the quote, the stories I can tell. because his brother is MAGA. It turns out the scandal was that, when Tim Walz was a young man, actually when he was a child, nobody wanted to sit next to him because, get this, in the car, he had car sickness and would sometimes throw up on them. Can you fucking believe this man wants to be president? And now, to make matters even worse, is that Trump shared the New York Post story. And then he shared this picture of Jeff Wall's family. They all were wearing Nebraska Walls for Trump. And there's a bunch of old people in it. And Trump tweeted out that shirt, or the picture of them wearing the shirt, saying, "Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much for the endorsement. I look forward to meeting you." It turns out Jeff Walz, Tim Walz's brother, was not even in that picture and did not endorse Trump. And so, in fact, he said he's explicitly going to avoid talking about this election. He doesn't want to be involved. And Jeff Wall's sister came out, or excuse me, Tim Wall's sister, so the sibling of both of them, came out and was like, "We don't know the people in this picture." Turns out they're like distant relatives of Tim Walz that are just opportunists. Their last name is Walz. They're related. I don't even know if they met. It's fucking hilarious. So yeah, that was a huge swing and a miss from the right.
Shocking.
I did a video about it. Check it out for the full story. Okay, so go ahead and go through your super chats, Matt, and I'll just catch up and I'll highlight them.
All right, sounds good. Here we go. That's not for me, but Prisoner of Gravity with a $5 super chat, I'm guessing for David Doel. "I can't believe they tried to make car sickness a scandal."
Okay.
Is this one that just popped up, or is this?
Yeah,
this
I'm sorry.
earlier?
I got to take that off the screen. There we go. Okay, now we can go to yours. I'm sorry.
Okay. I had to leave, remember? So I don't have all the super chats. You have to still go through them.
Okay.
This is for me. Julius Kopzuski with the super chat. "Will they have to return the laundered money forfeiture?" I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that. They seems like they should, right? Talking about like the people who were paid as
The
part of
moral thing
the
to do.
yeah, but
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I think the
same
only
question.
crime is that the people who were doing it didn't register as a foreign entity. That's the crime. That's
Right.
what launched the investigation, right? Everyone else is just
Well,
people
there's
don't know the
laundering
there's
charge.
additional.
Mm.
Yeah, but there's
Oh, okay.
additional.
Laundering charge changes it because then you bring in the IRS.
Got it.
So
Hey,
there's
also
FARA,
additional-
there's the laundering. Is there anything else associated?
The only two things they charge him with was violation of the FARA Act and the money laundering, but right off the
Okay.
bat, because you're talking foreign entity. So now you're literally FBI, CIA, DOJ, State Department, and IRS. You got like all
and
the letter
CSIS.
agencies.
And CSIS.
Oh,
the one.
That's right.
Yeah, CSIS is going to be
The
on it.
entire North American deep state is on him now. Damn.
Yeah.
That's it. You've now angered Canada, so now it's for real.
And it takes a lot to make them
We're not
angry.
sorry this time.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Who's this for? Let's see. This is not for me, but RRD. Has anyone called him Dave Rubles yet?
I've seen it. I've seen it online.
That's awesome.
You have?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I still like Rave Dubin better because it sounds stupider. So
Sounds silly.
yeah.
10 lawn gnomes, also not for me, but 10 lawn gnomes. Honestly, it's insulting how cheap it is to buy elections. Get a lefty a winning Powerball ticket, and you could swing an election 5 years later. Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Well, this money was not well spent. I would say if you want to invest in that, invest in local, like centralized elections where there's no voter turnout in your like cities and towns. And then, yes, that is a way for lefties to spend money to actually like build up power for sure. That or
Right.
invest in worker unions.
Yeah. Or tenant unions also.
Oh, I can't talk about that. I'm corrupt.
Shame on you. You're gonna be the next expose.
Yeah, the next TYT.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I really care about specific violent crime when it involves non-white people. I mean, when the non-white people commit crime, it's extra evil. I don't know what to say. It's the worst kind of crime.
And also, you're really concerned about, perverts, disabled, and people of color privilege. Like, yeah, we talk about white privilege, but what about disabled privilege?
Yeah.
Think about how easy they have it.
And how close we are to civil war because people don't pay attention. You know, that we let the queers go too far. There's going to be a civil war. I keep telling you, as things go more gay, there will be more civil war.
Yeah, they're doing sex change operations at schools now, according to Trump.
Apparently,
so
yes,
they've gone too
I've
far.
heard that inside schools. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo Hans with a super chat. This one is from me. We need to address the Russian benefactor that was in Matt's chat yesterday. Yeah, there was a Edward Gregorian actually popped into the chat.
Oh my.
You know, there could be a scandal with all of us regarding a potential Republican member of Big Agro that sends us super chats. I'm talking about Kowalski, Republican, farmer, very wealthy. He owns a home. So
connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turner with a super chat. Is this for me? It is not, but I'll read it anyway because I'm a nice guy. Turner says Lauren Southern getting investigated by the DOJ because of Lauren Chen is my favorite part of the story. What a true friend.
Canadians sticking together.
May the last Lauren or the best Lauren win.
2 Lauren enter, 1 Lauren leave.
Major Laser, this one is for me with a super chat. If in Russiagate 2.0, it should be noted they were required to talk about crime from racial minorities and Ukrainians. Truly racist alt-right messaging.
Love your songs, by the way, Major Laser.
Yeah, great bangers.
Bubble Butt's the best.
This one is not for me, but I'll read it. Progressive Boomer 57 of David Doel member for 30 months. Hey guys, keep doing what you do best. Thanks, I appreciate it. But it also, it could all come off nice, or it could also come off like, guys, go do something you're better at than this.
I love how I keep pulling up super chats and it's not from Matt. It's for David Doel. And Matt's like, oh.
Oh, all right. Well, sure. Okay. I'll read it. This one is for me because it's Tokyo Hans. The Edward Gregorian was an obvious fake. Not once did it mention synergy. Yeah, I know. If you wanted to go full LinkedIn, you have to go synergy. You have to drop that synergy.
I'm not gonna joke when you brought that glossy sheet up of like who Edward Gregorian was. That was literally like I was gonna synergy. It's like it's one of my pet peeves. That and creating agile businesses that could quickly react to the market. That's like my all-time favorite corpo speech. It's like, oh, you're just gonna fire people and then hire somebody to man the phones. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Good and normal.
Yep.
AOD fan, not for me, but member of Davis for 13 months. Did anyone make sure Ole is not partying too hard with Eric Adams having his home raided by the FBI? Yeah, we could check. We should check on Ole. See how she's doing.
That dude's got some skeletons.
She's very happy about the news.
Tokyo Hans with a super chat. Dave Rubin, I'm commentator number 1. Finally, I'm number 1.
I love that.
AOD fan with a super chat. This one is for me. You guys see Eric Adams' homes were raided by the FBI? Yeah, but did you send those in reverse? It seems like this one should have come before the Ole one.
We did
right?
because of you. Thank you, AOD.
Tokyo Hans with 2,000 yen. This is Matt. This is for Matt doing the real journalism and finding the Tim Pool clips link. Thank you, Tokyo Hans.
I know only you would find something like that.
It's you have to check all those little things. You got to always be on the lookout.
I wouldn't think to look. That's brilliant.
CMG Web for David Doel. Can't stay tonight, but here's to slapping clowns. I'm fighting with Muskalong Jones currently. F him too. Rachel Atwood with a super chat, not for me. Could you get Jeff Waldorf on as a Leftist Mafia guest? Sure, he's been on before, hasn't he? But
yeah.
we can have him on.
He
I
was
think a
on
while
when
back.
Yeah, he was on when Lance was on Tim Pool, but it was towards the end, so we'll have to bring him on for a full episode. Of course, we love Jeff. He's a good guy.
He's good people.
Here we go.
Notoriously bratty with a super chat, not for me. Thoughts on the fall of BC Liberals, BC United? Well, David's not here to answer that one for you, and I don't think anyone here has the expertise to answer that one for you. Oh, you do?
I literally am the
go
most
ahead.
qualified person. That's where I live. But it's hyper local politics. I can give you a super quick 30 seconds or less TLDR. There was basically two political parties here in BC that were competitors: the BC United, which were Liberals, and the BC NDP, which are kind of sock Dems. And the BC, let's just say the Libs, had a guy in there that was considered too right-wing and too crazy. He got kicked out. He formed the BC Conservatives, and then the BC Liberals collapsed in free fall, and then they merged, and now the Conservatives are the political party that looks like they're going to be the main competitors. So they're far right. They're Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're 5G, they're anti-trans, they're anti-climate science. Jordan Peterson's promoted them. It sucks. It like the centrists in the province are really mad because they're like, we don't have a home anymore. It's either the Soc Dems or the far right. Essentially, that's what happened. And it's
I'm so sad, Canada. I'm so disappointed.
Oh, I
Man.
feel bad. I thought that was a message about a soccer team.
No.
BC United.
That does sound like it though. Yeah, BC United is. Yeah,
thought,
it does sound like a soccer team.
Yeah, I
no.
also thought the same thing.
Okay, good. It's just me. Nice.
Yeah.
Donald James X, member for 31 months over at David's channel. I heard Sahil is also trying to reach out to China and Russia looking to get paid. He's trying.
Sahil. Bad.
Buck Melanoma with a super chat for me. This Venezuelan gang story is literally the plot to Death Wish 3, but all the no-good scumbags in that gang were multiracial. Great bad movie. I'll have to check it out.
I have not seen it.
It's Charles Bronson classic.
Huh.
Foresto with a super chat. This sitcom is why you don't write with AI. Hey, I think that's full on her baby. I don't think you should use AI for that one.
Right. It's all from the dome.
Yeah, that's clearly
I
from
think
her.
if it was AI, it would be better.
Yeah, I do think that. Yeah. That was 100% Janet. Rachel Atwood with a super chat, not from me. Did you see the Cosby show, Halal in the Family? No, I didn't.
I haven't seen this.
Did you guys? Do you guys know what she's talking about?
No.
Tokyo Hans gifted me 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Tokyo Hans. Radio Friendly Box with a super chat. Host deficit Trump. Can you use it in a sentence? Yeah, that's pretty good. Tokyo Hans with a super chat. James is amazing. His voice totally has the pro wrestler thing going on. Give us a little of a pro wrestling promo, James.
On cue. I mean, I'm more. How about the monster truck people? The monster truck's always my favorite because they have the built-in Alex Jones voice, where you get the Sunday, come to the Armory in Philadelphia. General seats only $5. You might pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Wow! Whoa!
No,
that's amazing.
That was very, very good.
Catchphrase is down. Did you come up with that one yourself?
Oh.
No, it's permanently etched into my brain from growing up in the New York, New Jersey area, and there being a monster truck rally every weekend.
That's what they would say.
I would get them from Tacoma.
In the
In the Tacoma
edge.
Dome.
That is literally one of the best lines of marketing ever. Like decades later, you might pay for the whole seat, but you only need the edge. Is banging.
Yeah.
Like, just crowbar that into any sentence.
It stood with you this whole time. That is genius.
I just want to point out that I just got followed on Twitch by a user with the name Edward Gregorian.
I'm not associated with Matt Binder.
There could be a lucrative deal coming your way. I'm just saying.
There is. I can't wait. Here we go. For Resto of the super chat, Jenk's dad also owns an apartment complex. Does everyone's parents just own apartment complexes? My parents don't.
Mine don't. No. An apartment complex is a lot. That's a
bit more
lot.
than owning a house. You're not like a putty landowner. You're an actual like slumlord at that point.
It's different than renting out your basement. Yeah, that's a little different. Owning a whole ass apartment complex.
Yeah, not on the same level of renting out a spare bedroom to pay your mortgage.
Cal, Texas, I'm assuming, became a YouTube member, I guess, over at David's channel, because it's not mine. Tokyo Hans with a super chat. Since moving to Japan, I never had a problem with a landlord. Usually an old lady that I can sit down with some tea and rice crackers. They get shit done quick, though. Yeah, I wonder if, like, maybe it's because the situation in Japan is, I don't know if that's the experience outside of the United States in general. I'm pretty sure, like, the UK and Europe have pretty shitty landlords. Maybe I'm wrong. But it seems like that may be like a Japan thing. Like they don't want the whole big thing about respect on their family name is a big thing over there, and they don't want to be, charred with the tarred, I should say, tarred with the the slumlord moniker, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my assumption. The skep dick. Not for me. That's for David.
James from Red Hobbit. That one's for me.
Hi, Red Hobbit.
Tunbosin with a super chat. NYC was the biggest backers of the Environmental Bond Act, but funding is mainly going upstate. So far, the city getting just 2%. BS. Also, fuck Eric Adams. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It seems on point.
Intense Wiggling just became a member. Thank you so much. And Tunbosin with another super chat. Chev Bank Kiss. Shout out to LMV Boogie, says Tunbosin. And that's all for me. Wow, this is an early night, I think.
That's it, folks.
I got two quick ones. 0 PE with $4.99. Did y'all hear about Uhuru 3 when they were charged with being Russian agents too? The trial already started. I did see that. That was also supremely. That one was actually surprising. Unlike the Tim Pool stuff, unlike that tracks. Bitey Face Puppy Guy with the $10. In Anna's defense, that was just the bonus story. And also Bitey Face Puppy Guy with the $5. That sitcom was like Family Ties, but less edgy with no Michael J. Fox. Beyond lame. And yeah, it was terrible. I hate you for showing us that, Mike. But also, thank you for preparing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, over on really quick, over on Twitch, I got a new subscriber for 1 month at tier 1. Bama Nicole. Oh, and then Valinova cheered 500 bits. What are your favorite WWE Sid Vicious memories? Psycho Sid of the wrestler recently passed away. He, I would say like in that weird mid to late 90s era where he was like Psycho Sid and was like becoming a big star there for that short period of time before he left really quickly. There's this great clip of him coming down the entranceway with all these people fist bumping him, and he's screaming like, "Who's the man?" And you just see like the horde of arms in the crowd pointing to him from like it's the fans pointing at. It's pretty cool looking. You had to see it. But most of my Psycho Sid Vicious memories are him being a monster in ECW the short period of time he was there, where Judge Jeff Jones would come out and he would basically, this is like a managerial type wrestler, and his gimmick was that he was a judge, and he would come out when a wrestler was cutting a promo and basically like convict them of a crime, and Sid Vicious would come out as the punishment, and he would just power bomb the shit out of the guy. And it was like such a crazy gimmick that like Sid was like next level. He was like the S tier villain in like a video game, like the unstoppable, like you would defeat the game and you thought it was over, but then Sid Vicious would show up. It was pretty bad.
Am I off the stream? My
Yeah,
OBS
no,
cut out.
We see you. No, we see
you
you,
see
but we
me?
don't. No, we don't see you. We hear you, but we don't see your video.
There's just the OBS logo.
That was my OBS. Yeah.
We got this one in also, Matt, for you.
Oh, CPU Alpha with a super chat. Hey Matt, how is the guy last night who called in as Edward? Back in May, I Skype called you, and I was the guy who saw you first in the Majority Report. You asked me who the guy was? I don't know who it was. I have no idea. Or are you saying you were the guy who called in as Edward Gregarian? I can't quite parse what you're trying to say. I'm sorry.
Well, do you want to do a triple rate of somebody on Twitch?
I rated Ravana.
All right, we'll do that too.
Because my OBS.
Oh, you already didn't, just without even.
Yeah, because as soon as my OBS conked out, I'm like, oh, I'm going to lose all my viewers. I have like.
I hear it. Is Ravana on? She is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Bye, y'all. Love you guys.
All right,
Good
great
to see you,
show,
James.
guys.
Take care, everyone.
Adios.
Thank you so much, James, for coming.
No, hey, I appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to come by.
It was great meeting you. Yeah.
Yes, we should do this again sometime.
Yeah,
absolutely.
always nice talking.
Yo, man, 60 more days of madness. So buckle up, y'all, because this one is not going to get any better.
No, we're almost
it's
through
gonna be
it.
wild.
We're
All right,
almost through it.
thank you so much for having me, everybody. I'm out. I'll see you later. Cheers.
Take care.
All right, I'm hitting raid now. Did you raid already, Mike?
I have it ready to go.
I'm hitting it now. Raid now. I just clicked it.
All right, we'll see you all next Thursday. Take care.